it all just crashed, and we kind of went back to the basic BBR house. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but it's the thought that counts. We really had fun making it, and we're glad that everyone was like super excited to see like all the work that we put into it. But of course, what matters most is the cast. And I'm not gonna lie, for Big Brother, I believe we had, I want to say, a little over 40 applications, but honestly, some applications could have just been like people opening up tickets and not answering questions. So maybe somewhere in like the 30s, the lower 30s. And so our acceptance rate for the season was, I want to say, about 50%. But of course, we put a lot of effort into casting. And so we really wanted to cast people who, for Big Brother at least, people that don't just see the game as a game of competitions, but see people who see the game as a social game. Because of course, here at TBL, we really want like the audience to get engaged. And so it's important for us to have people that are like entertaining play, but also people that are like strategic and people that see the game just beyond competitions and like understand that this is a social game. So we had a lot of great applications. I mean, some of my personal favorites, honestly, Capri, your application, I will say, was amazing. Tyson as well. You guys are just great at like convincing us in your application that you came to play and that you want to leave your mark on the season. Another application I really loved was Lydia's. She's not here with us right now. But honestly, I was just very like impressed with all the applications, and ultimately, I believe we actually had 3 alternates for this season. So the winner of the season, Boop, was actually one of our alternates. I believe Capri as well may have been an alternate, and then there was one more person. Okay, Capri was indeed an alternate, and honestly, I believe there was one more, but I forgot exactly who that was. But yeah, that is basically all I want to go over in terms of preseason stuff. It was our first season, so we're still getting used to things. Production quality has obviously been up tremendously since then, and so we're hoping to kind of match the Survivor quality for our second Big Brother season. All right, so here are the drafts that everyone, or the preseason drafts. As you can see, the winner of the draft, or the person who received the most points, was Sev. So apparently everyone really believed in Sev to do well, even though he was the last pre-juror boot. But many other people also received a lot of support, although Sev really was kind of like the runaway here in terms of the amount of points that he ended up getting. And then Vince also received a lot of support. Angel, Capri, you seem to have the least amount of support.
And both of us.
I need to talk.
I'd like to hear you
about it. Like you were wrong. I only won the season.
They were really wrong about me.
Well, they were wrong about Tyson, because Tyson made it all the way to 5th place and only received. Oh yeah, Tyson also had 2 points. I did not even notice that. Yes, but Tyson did make it all the way to 5th place. Who did vote Tyson?
It was
Tyson received Chip.
Tricks and Chip.
It was Chip and Tricks. Well, I trust Chip's and Tricks' intuition, especially Chip's. Exactly. But yes, Tyson made it all the way to the final 5 without receiving a single vote. We'll get to that in a little bit. But surprisingly, 2 people who really brought a lot to the season. One who made it super far, the other who was very much an explosive character for the time he was there, receiving the least amount of support. But honestly, the drafts are just here for fun. Don't take them too seriously. But I actually can't remember who won this draft in terms of the player, or in terms of the people who participated in it. But just here for you guys to see. So now we're going to start going over not every single elimination, but we'll go over the important ones, and we'll specifically talk to the Big Brother players who are here. So if you're here, we'll probably go over your elimination. So in the pre-jury, we had our first boot was unfortunately Angel, although she did go on to do really well in the Traitors. So even though she was first boot in this season, she definitely proved herself in the Traitors, and we'll get to that soon. Bread was our second boot. There's not much I can say about that elimination. Bread, if you want to provide any like insight from what you remember, because it has been 2 months. So if there's anything that you remember from your elimination that you want to add or like say or talk about, then you can do that right now. And also, Trix, if you want, you can add. I think Monet's here, and Capri as well needs to be added back.
Okay, yeah, I have.
Monet,
Yeah,
we'll be
I
adding
have
you to
invited
the.
Monet.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so
And Capri is also back.
okay,
Yes,
okay, nice.
Brad, let us know your
So
thoughts.
what I remember was, yeah, I was fairly new to the server and I didn't expect to be casted on the first season. I was really grateful to be given this chance. But since I was just like fairly new, I didn't know anybody. I was like really shy. My social game was really bad. But when I heard when we were introducing ourselves, like when I saw her Capri was really like interactive and he was really entertaining, I was like, okay, this kind of guy is gonna be good for the season if this is being recorded. So if he's gonna be like in danger at some point, I'm gonna be like, all right, I know I'm not gonna last like long his game by myself, so I might as well sacrifice for someone else. And by coincidence, we both ended up on the elimination, and so I was like, yeah, I can't handle the drama here because I don't know anybody yet, so I can't like use any facts to argue back with them later on. So I was like, okay, I'll just sacrifice myself, but I hope Capri makes it far.
And what I can say is it
I
definitely was like a
won.
character development arc for you because Capri, unfortunately, you didn't win the season. But yeah, it was really a character development arc for you, Brad, because even though this time you were really shy and like you weren't as social, you definitely have proved to be a much more social and much more fierce player in spin-offs that have happened since then. Also, I just want to answer a question. Yes, Rhapsody, I do have the recording. It does take a long time to edit, so I'll probably post the raw footage actually tonight and just unlist it so that everyone can see it. But the edited version is still in like the works. So just for the Survivor recording, for anyone wondering, I'll post the raw footage so that you guys can watch it because I don't want you guys to wait for too long. Okay, so that was Bread's elimination. Thank you so much for speaking. Then, unfortunately, Grammy was eliminated, I believe, by a vote of, I want to say, like 5-4. It was really close. It was against Sev. And now we get to Capri, our most chaotic pre-juror, who ended up winning the Chaos Express Award with good reason. Not the winner, but the winner of many people's hearts after this season. Capri, do you have anything that you want to chime in for or
I
say
have
about your
a lot to
elimination?
say. So first off, I'm very happy I won. I think it took a lot of effort to win, but and second off,
right.
first, like me and Lydia's rivalry was like genuinely such a perfect storyline because it literally started like I nominated her on the block, they nominated me, and then they nominated me again, and then they took me out in a tiebreaker. Like that couldn't have ended better. But first off, that shouldn't have even happened because Monet flipped on me. Like I don't even understand why Monet voted me. Like that was my number one. But I still won.
Well, one thing I can say is that, well, yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, of course. But one thing I can say is that the like your dynamic with Lydia was honestly one of the most interesting parts of the pre-jury, and like just you two going after each other was
I know,
definitely
like
unexpected. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. When we knew who we were going to cast for this season, I definitely would never have imagined you and Lydia like being the main rivalry of the pre-jury.
And the craziest part is I managed to get Grinch to vote me to stay. Like, that was crazy. Like, that's what I was shocked when I saw Grinch actually voted for me to stay. Like, I was also in a rivalry with Grinch, but like we were willing to work it out on the remix. But that didn't work out.
And I think the vote was a tie, right? It was between you and Josh and then Lydia. Right, yeah. And then that was, I believe, honestly, the first of many votes for Josh, who isn't here with us, but Josh ends up surviving, I believe, 4 or 5 vote outs before
he went on the
ultimately
block
going home with the final 7. And you were like the first one, so
yeah.
anyways, thank you so
I
much
was the
for the
only one
insight.
that almost beat him until whoever ended up beating him. Am I the
believe.
earliest boot to receive a reward? Like that's kind of embarrassing, but like
Um, you might be, honestly. Actually, no. We'll get to Traitors. There was someone who was
Oh, okay.
eliminated third who received an award.
Oh,
But
okay.
yes,
Thank you, whoever got eliminated third. You flopped a little bit worse than me.
all right. Thank you so much, Capri. So next, of course, the pre-jury. Our final pre-jury elimination was Sev. Sev was also eliminated, sitting next to Josh. I believe as well by a vote of, or it was very close. It was a vote of like 4-3. So very close votes. This game of Big Brother here, our first season of Big Brother. All right. So moving on to our jury, we have quite a few dramatic eliminations here. We have K Rose, who was eliminated in the speed eviction. Joey, who was then eliminated, sitting next to Josh. I don't think K Rose was eliminated sitting next to Josh, although it actually, no. K Rose was sitting next to Monet. Actually, that vote was really close. It was like 4-3. Monet is here with us. So, Monet, if at any point you want to chime in, especially because you and Tyson are the only jurors here, you can to provide any insight from what you remember, although this was like 2 months ago. So, definitely understand.
It's like,
Oh, you unmuted.
oh,
Hello.
okay. Hey, oh my god, I miss you guys.
Oh, hey, Queen.
It's good to see you. It's been a while.
Yes, I know. Like, so I don't. What do you want me to talk? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Or
Well, we'll mainly get into it when we get to your elimination. So I'll just like go through the other three quickly, and then we'll get to yours,
oh,
and we'll
sure,
ask
sure,
them
sure.
like your thoughts about your elimination. It has been a while though,
Okay,
so if you
okay.
don't remember much, totally understand. All right,
Yes,
so of
okay.
course after K Rose we have Joey, who was eliminated once again in a really close vote versus Josh. And honestly, Joey definitely deserved the most robbed award here because their game was really, really good and never nominated, never in trouble basically until this one round where Vince was basically forced into renomming them. And ultimately, they went home next to Josh because Josh was seen as like the only one who could beat the comp beast, Vince and Grinch. And he was spared and saved. I believe the vote was like, I want to say could have been, it was either 4-3 or 3-3. I'm not exactly sure how many votes there were that round, but Josh was spared. And then we get to Josh's elimination. I'm not going to lie, this one for me was probably one of the saddest eliminations because not only did he survive the block for basically like 4 different rounds, but he was also the only person who I really, really, really wanted to see in HOH because he was clocking everyone's tea every time he was being put on the block. He was making it known that he was going to be coming after the comp beasts, and honestly, he was just a really entertaining player. Super sad to see him go there, but ultimately, we lose him at the final 7, and then we get to the final 6 round. And this is where we lose Monet, and this is also a really sad elimination. I remember the spectators were not happy about this one. So Monet, if there's anything you remember about your elimination that you want to like chime in on or talk about, we'd be curious to know.
Okay, so like all I remember when I got eliminated, I was so mad at everyone. Because I mean I knew that it was a bad decision, or it I played a pretty bad game like when I got eliminated, because I had no alliance. Like I was so focused on being the middle that I had no one to like protect me. And only I say like the tightest alliance that I have was Vince, and like he flipped on me. So I was so mad. and and I hated Lydia and Grinch for like um for like inviting me in an alliance and then suddenly nominating me, and like I felt like I was thrown under the bus, so I fucking called all of them out. But yeah, all I remember was like I'm begging them, whispering everyone to like keep me. Oh my god, I'm the only one who doesn't have any alliances. However, people have built like tight relationships with each other, so like they preferred to fight with alliances instead of having a person who could actually like flip and flip. So I understood them when they eliminated me, but I was really mad because yeah, all like I felt like everyone freaking flipped, and I got what I
Oh my
deserved. That
gosh.
was karma.
Oh,
All right. Well, thank you so much. You were definitely one of the most entertaining players of the season for sure. Vince, thank you for joining. We'll get to you soon, but obviously, if you want to chime in on anything that we're saying, you can at any point. So, thank you, Monet. We'll actually get
Okay,
to a
thank
little
you.
clip from Monet, which I'm sure you've all seen. One of the best moments of the season, definitely. Then we get to the final five, and this is the round where ultimately our dark horse Tyson goes home. And I must say, I was very impressed by Tyson's game because it was definitely an under the radar game, but it was one such that Tyson was able to make it all the way to the final five without winning a competition, but also without being nominated a single time. And so, Tyson, if you want to walk us through that round, if there's anything you remember, like we'd be really curious to know about this final five round.
Oh man. Okay. So in the final five, it's the one regret I have about the game is I didn't push back enough. I agreed. I agreed to go along with a move that Grinch wanted to make. Grinch was the HOH here, and what Grinch wanted to do was he was afraid that if we put up Vince and Boop next to each other, that Vince would just immediately win the veto and take himself down, and then um, who I'm forgetting the name of the other player
Lydia, Lydia,
in
I
the
believe,
final
right?
five.
Lydia,
Yeah,
Lydia.
Lydia. Yeah, and then Lydia would
Lydia.
have gotten put up. He was afraid that Lydia would have gotten put up, and then Lydia would have gotten sent out instead, sitting next to Boop. And so the plan was to put me up next to Boop and then backdoor Vince, but Vince just won the veto, and yeah, we all know what
Took
happened then.
Boop off the block, yeah.
So I
Yes,
wish I had
took
pushed
Boop off
back
the
a little
block.
more. I wish I had pushed back a little more and tried to push the idea to Grinch that if Boop and Vince were both nominated initially, then one of them for sure would go home. But in the end, I think it would have still ended up being the same because Grinch wasn't really too worried about Boop. Grinch just wanted Vince out and thought backdooring him was the only way to go. So, but yeah,
Which
that was
I really
the
do like.
that was the thought process there.
Yeah, well, honestly, I really do wish we could hear like Grinch's thoughts throughout that as well, because I believe Grinch honestly kind of wanted to go, or maybe not at this point in the game, but definitely like right at the end. I believe he probably thought he had like a better chance of beating Vince, and so maybe he wanted to go to the end with Vince, but we won't know since he's not here, unfortunately, exactly what his thoughts were. Boop, our winner, was just invited on stage, so we'll ask you to give a few thoughts soon. Then after the final five, where Tyson tragically goes home, we get Lydia's elimination. So I believe what happens here is Boop wins the HOH, and then Vince wins the veto and ultimately decides to evict Lydia. If you could like give us a little bit of insight on why you decided to evict Lydia over Grinch here, knowing that Grinch was likely the bigger comp threat going into
Yeah, so like
that final
at the
three.
beginning of the game, like
Uh,
the two people I was sorry. Never mind.
no,
The
go
two
ahead. Go
people
ahead.
I was closest with were Boop and Grinch, and I knew if I brought those two to like the final three, I was assuming I knew Boop was gonna bring me to the final two, and I was gonna bring Boop to the final two as well. And I was hoping because Grinch is like good at comps, I was hoping if they won, if they somehow beat me, they would have brought me to the final two as well. But in the final four HOH, I wanted Boop and me to be safe, so I threw the HOH to her because I was confident I would win the veto, which I did, and then I eliminated Lydia. So that's like really what
And is
happened on
there
my
like
side.
a reason specifically, or is there like a reason specifically, like for sure you knew you had to do Lydia over Grinch, or like it was just um
Um,
it was just because
I feel like
you thought you had a better chance of beating Grinch?
I had a better chance at beating Grinch than Lydia. I mean, Lydia didn't get like much blood on her hands. They were like really social and like under the radar. So that's like one of the reasons why I eliminated them too as well.
All right. Thank you so much for that. So, well, I mean, we'll need your opinion again because then we get to the final three, and you ultimately end up beating Grinch in the final Big Brother quiz and take home the final HOH. And so now you have the decision to bring either Grinch or Boop to the final two, and you choose to bring Boop. and ultimately that doesn't work out for you. But is there like a reason that you knew that you wanted to bring Boop here?
Because I mean, there's not really a reason. I don't know how the votes would have turned out against Grinch. I'm assuming the votes, like looking back, I'm assuming the votes would have been like a 5-2 vote. Cause I just think the only two votes I would have had were probably, I don't know if Tyson would have voted me, but I think Tyson would have voted me and Boop. And I didn't think that was enough. And a lot of people were still like happy with Grinch and stuff, so I wasn't comfortable with bringing them into the final two. But people were happy with Boop as well, but I feel like people would have like respected my game more, I guess, and I would have like got more jury votes, and I thought that was like the closest way I could get to winning. Which it was. I mean, I lost by 1 vote, which is fine.
Yeah, it was a very close vote ultimately, and we get to our final two, of course, with a vote of 4-3. Boop ends up winning the season. Our social queen, Boop. I know you're here. If you have anything to say about your win, about the season, like now's the time. Like we want to hear your thoughts. Like you won this, the first ever season of TBL.
I mean, it did happen a while ago, so it's not like fresh in my mind. But I literally just was talking to everyone, trying to get in every single call and try to make those connections. So I was the opposite. I was not a comp beast, but I did not want to go on the block. So talking to those people, making sure I'm not the one on the block and the votes are off me is how I got to the end.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, a really good game because I believe you went on the block. I want to say it could have been twice, but I believe it was once. And that's
It was once,
where
yeah.
you had the veto used on you, which obviously, yeah, it was once. And then Vince ends up using the veto on you here, which is super pivotal because it proved that, you had those bonds like with people like Vince, but also with other people to stay in the game and to ultimately make it to the end. And just barely squeeze out the win, 4-3 against Vince. This was a really close jury vote, and obviously very interesting to watch. So thank you all so much. If there's anything else that people want to talk about, like anyone else in the Big Brother call that like you feel like you still need to say something before we move on to Traitors, like please let us know
I got
now. Okay,
something.
Capri, I see that you. All right,
Why
Capri,
am I not
what
on the
is it?
poster? I feel
What
attacked.
do you mean? No, I included Lydia. I included Boop. I included Vince.
Where's Tyson?
And
You mispronounced
Where's
Capri, I
Tyson?
think.
oh, you are. Wait, okay, y'all are kind of clocking me. I'm sorry. I only put a few people from each season, like
No, but it's
specifically
also
people
because
who made.
y'all
No,
didn't have
it's
like my
okay. It's
actual
just
mug because
funny.
I was an alternate. I was like wearing this random like where is my rub my belly shirt.
I think I will probably put more people on the
Oh
posters
my
next
god.
time, though.
Okay,
Yes.
wait.
Thank
Also,
you.
my the groom is almost here. They're gonna be here in like 15 minutes.
What?
Okay.
What?
We'll ask what that means later on. We'll get to that
Well,
later.
like
Maybe
the
we won't.
wedding, the wedding.
Yeah, maybe like as an after the
You say it
reunion,
like
we
there's
Well,
can
an
do that.
invite.
okay. If not, I'll sue.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. So everyone who is here on the Big Brother season, thank you guys for showing up to this shortened reunion. This is not as long as the reunion or the reunions we've done in the past, but thank you guys for showing up.
I'm an exile.
Anyone? Yes. I believe everyone or only Vince can stay on stage for the Traitors segment.
Yay! Oh my
Well, we do
gosh.
have
Because
Okay,
one
I could just
moment
like
of the
sit.
season to share. If you
Oh.
still want to.
oh yes, we do. We do. Yes. Yes. Small little video. Sorry if the
Oh.
quality is not the best, but no, you've all seen this. You've all seen this, except the
Just
newer
a
players.
highlight from the season.
PTSD.
Right. This is my favorite moment. But we've all seen this. Let me know if you can hear it, by the way.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh my god.
Oh, I seen that. Never
Okay,
mind.
so like good luck everyone. Grinch,
Oh my
Chlamydia, you guys have my vote. Win this
Thank
for
you, Miss
me.
Monet.
Tyson, you're never getting my vote. Boop base, I
Oh.
respect you, Vince. I don't give a fuck about you.
Mind you, she voted me at the end, so
And
How
then
can you not
Monet
say
goes on
mother?
to
like,
vote
I
for
was
Vince.
confused on that.
So
How can you not say mother?
at least she went out in
Felt so
like
bad. That was
with
like
sparks.
That was for sure like the worst vote for me. Like I hated voting Monet, but I knew I didn't have the numbers.
It was a great moment. So really glad that Monet was on this season for sure. I believe I did also prepare another clip here. Actually, okay. This was one that I edited, but it was just everyone's reaction to Josh's speech when he was basically clocking everyone because this was like his 4th time being nominated. So this isn't a clip from the season, but small little edit.
Now, a lot of you have come up to me and you've said, Will, you don't really seem like you're into it. You don't really seem like you want to play. And you said, why? What was the reason for that? And I said to myself, I don't know. I don't know why I can't be. I don't understand it. So I had a heart-to-heart with myself. And I said, Will, what is the reason? Why are you having such a hard time playing? And this is the truth. Season 2, the season that I won, there was a lot of people I hated. And it was easy for me to motivate and find individuals that I disliked. And it gave me power. It gave me a reason to want to play. It gave me a reason to want to fight. It gave me a reason to want to remove people from the game. Then I thought, so why haven't I had that motivation? And I thought it was because I really liked everyone here. But then I realized it was the opposite of that. I can't find an individual to hate because I hate you all.
Anyways, loved having Josh on this season. He really gave it his all. Wish he was here to talk about it, but definitely a firecracker of a player, and was glad to have him. And definitely sad to see him get nominated every week, but also just someone that a lot of the spectators could root for. So that's all I have to say about that. So let's get on with our next segment. We're going to get to the Traitors segment. Let me see if I could sorry. This is like confusing to use. Okay, there we go. We are now moving on to our Traitors segment. So if you are on the Big Brother season, you'll likely be asked to step back into the audience. And we're going to invite everyone who is on the Traitor season. Vince will stay because Vince was in both seasons. So everyone who's in Traitors will be invited on stage. We'll have Faye. I don't believe any of our winners are here Haley is here, so Haley will be invited.
Here.
Wait.
Jem is here.
Oh goodness.
Jem
Oh
has an invite.
goodness.
Hello? Okay.
Anyways. Hey Jim.
Yeah.
I can't wait for us to talk about your crash out. Like
Oh, Cheese is here as well.
Yes, she's.
Cheese, and then Rhapsody
you
as
low-key
well.
cooked though,
Oh,
like
please don't
my
invite
jaw was like
Cheese.
I was shocked.
No, wait, sorry, not
Why?
Maggie.
Why am I not wanted?
It's just because.
No, Cheese, we're glad to have you.
That's
Corinne is
really
also here. Has
my
her
yep.
Trader segment, and then Lilac.
Okay,
Okay.
this is gonna ban both of you. Wait, Eggy wasn't on track.
Cheese, stop. Cheese. We're not doing that today.
No, I haven't done it for a long time. Like I missed it.
What is that? Is that an apple pie? Like what's going on with your
Oh yeah, it is. Do you like the apple
It's
pie?
burnt. It's a burnt
It's not
pie.
burnt.
Yeah,
Stop
it's
saying that,
burnt.
bro.
What happened?
No, stop. It's not burnt. It's
Faye,
tasty.
if you
It's
could let me know, is Mother Cora
I don't
going to show
know.
up? So that
Let me message her. Hold on.
Yum yum.
She's here.
So by the way, I will ask.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So Mother Cora is here. So I will ask if you were on the season. Just like we'll go over it. Like I'll try to guide the discussion. But if there's anything like while I'm speaking that you guys want to chime in on, or like anything you want to add, then just feel free to do so. But otherwise,
we interrupt.
I'll be like guiding it, and then don't interrupt. But if you want to like add stuff after like I finish my sentence, then sure. But yes, once I get to your elimination, I definitely want to hear your thoughts. So I believe that's everyone besides Lilac also needs to be added, but that should be enough.
Yeah,
to start
Lilac
us off.
has been sent an invite.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's then start with going over our Traitors season. So Brayden, I wish Brayden was here to provide us more insight into the casting because for those who don't know, we basically. Yeah, Brayden was here initially, but he's not here anymore. So for those who don't know, I obviously host Big Brother, Brayden hosts Traitors, and Trix hosts Survivor. And so we help each other with the casting, of course, but for our respective seasons, we're like the head of casting, if that makes sense. So Brayden will probably be able to provide more insights on this, but Traitors is hard to cast because, well, we have to cast a lot more players than we do for Big Brother and Survivor. And so I believe this Traitor season, we had 22 players and we had quite a few alternates as well. So we do need a lot of apps. We're glad that, there was a lot of people that applied, so we're able to choose many players. And in fact, I believe our acceptance rate for this was also around 50%, because it was a little over 40 apps. We'll get to Survivor though. Survivor definitely had a lot more. Yeah, so Traitors not easy to cast, but ultimately we really had a good cast here. A lot of memorable players, especially towards the end game, and even some people who went out earlier that I was definitely sad to see go. So let's talk quickly about the draft. So we have on the left everyone's draft, and on the right we have the amount of points each person receives. So our largest, or the person who received the most amount of points here was Sin, who is unfortunately not here, but Sin got quite a bit of praise from the people who were drafting. Everyone thought they would do well, and they did. They ended up making it quite far, so we'll get to that soon. A lot of people here that did not get drafted, unfortunately, either because they were alternates and were brought in later, because the drafts do start before the season, so it's possible that people are brought in as like last-minute alternates and they don't get drafted because of that. And others that did not get drafted that I'm quite surprised didn't get drafted, such as Lilac. I was actually a little bit sad about that. I feel like Lilac is like the person I would expect to do, or like the person who gives Traitor energy the most. So definitely surprising there. But we have also Lydia, who received quite a few points after Sin, though they were coming in with a pretty strong run from Big Brothers. I guess it makes sense that they did receive a lot of support. Oh, Sin is here as well. Actually, in that case, Sin, we'd like to hear your thoughts on, you were the one who was drafted the most. You're also the person who makes the drafts. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, is there anything that you want to say before we get into this? Like,
oh my god,
praise from the spectators. Like, how did you feel?
Hi.
Hello.
How did I feel about being drafted? Like the most?
Yeah,
I cried.
Yeah,
I cried a lot. Like that's not even a joke. Like I literally shed tears. I think that it feels like really, really strange when there's so much kind of like happening, especially like with drafts. Like there's a lot of pressure, I think, for people who are drafted higher to kind of like feel like that they need to perform better. And I know for me, it was like a really overwhelming experience, like after I left, to kind of feel like that, like, you like let a lot of people down. But there's something that does feel like really, really lovely about it all. I don't know. It's just like, it's just the whole thing. But it was really weird to come back and see me being like drafted. I was like, what the hell, you guys? Like, why? And especially for Traitors, it's such a gnarly little game. But I mean, it was silly. It happened. It was a really cool feeling to come back and see that. So it was very, very special.
And we're like really glad. Yeah, and we're really glad to have you on the season. We'll get to your elimination. That one definitely needs to be talked about. And because there are a lot of people from the Traitor season here, yes, so we want to go over all your eliminations. So we'll probably for the people that aren't here, we'll probably just very quickly, just briefly mention them and not really talk about them in detail. But we want to get through the eliminations for the people that are here, at least talk about them. So here's just a quick graph so that everyone understands who the Traitors were this season while we're talking about it. So our initial Traitors that were selected were Chris and Kitty. Neither of them are here, but they were both selected. They had the choice, or they were given the choice as to who they wanted to bring in as their third Traitor partner, and they ultimately ended up bringing in Sin, whose elimination we will get to because it's very interesting, trust me. And then after the first round, Kitty was voted out and Faye became the replacement. And that's kind of it, because these three Traitors made it quite far into the game. And by the time the first of them was eliminated, there was no more room for recruitment. So they just kind of ran the entire show. All right, so let's get into this. So this is the pre-merge rounds. No one from the pre-merge rounds is here because this was hosted in Outlaster, so we do have to have some pre-merge rounds. But no one from them is here, so we'll just quickly go through them. Kitty was our Traitor. She was voted out at the first roundtable by Cheese. Actually, Cheese, I'd like to just very briefly know what was going through your mind when you were accusing Kitty, because you're accusation was wrong, but it ended up being on the nose because she was indeed a traitor.
Okay. It was pure luck. Um.
Jeez.
Bye.
Shut up, Vince. Okay. So Okay. So usually, like
Oh, Kitty
I
is
played
here. Kitty is
Interlude
here.
last year where they did the Traitors there, and one of the tasks there were to like hit somebody with a hammer. And since she was new, I like kind of knew like she wouldn't know something like that. So I was like, oh my gosh, she's trying to trick everyone. So like I outed her out, and I try to be like loud with it too. So the Traitors would think I'm a bad faithful, and that was like super fun and stuff.
All right. Yeah, it was very. I'm gonna say it was very interesting to see that happen. Yeah, we'll get more to you soon, but definitely like it was like the three of us. We were on a call during the game, and it shocked us that you somehow got it right, without really the right reasoning there. But anyways, that was really fun. So thank you for that. We'll get to you soon.
Intuition.
Then we get to our next, I believe this was a banishment for Lone Wolf because the Traitors failed to complete their task. That was a common theme this season, the Traitors failing to complete their task.
Shade.
Yeah, that is a shade, but they were difficult tasks, but we have to make it difficult. We have to at least put some
Yeah, we
some
have to
challenge
keep
on the
them on their
Traitors.
toes.
Yes, exactly.
Wait,
Can I
Lala,
ask what was like the rate? What was the rate of like how many tasks we did in the end? Because I think we might have failed more than half.
I want to say you guys
Hello.
succeeded like on a third of them.
That sounds right.
Ish. Yeah.
Well, okay, I think you know what? No, because I think that let's touch up on this because I think there's a difference between succeeding in tasks and then being
Choosing
given
not to
a
do
task,
them.
we opted to not do it because that
Yeah,
was a
that's true.
very
We
Yes.
did do that a lot.
that was
That
a
is
very
true.
common theme. So I'm like, not too much, Lucas. Let's not get it twisted because I was like, there was a
Yes,
few that
that
we
is
didn't
true.
want to
That
do.
is true.
Because mind you,
Thank
one
you
of
for
the
that,
trader
though.
tasks was about hitting someone with a hammer, and I knew
Yeah.
Corinne was in this season, and she had to do that last time, and I immediately said like, there is no way that we're doing this.
Wait,
Listen,
Kitty's in the
not
audience
to.
as well as Lilac.
Oh yes. Wait,
Yeah,
Lilac was invited though, I believe.
they've
So.
both been invited.
Okay, but I will say though. Okay, Kitty is here. Hello, Kitty. Is there anything? I know this was like a
Hello.
really long time ago, but is there anything that you like remember about your elimination, or that you want to add? If not, totally fine. We can continue.
Who, me?
Yeah. This is a
Oh,
while ago though.
yeah, I remember. I just want to say, like, it was really funny because it was my first season. And I don't know, like, I'm really loud with it. And the fact that, like, oh my God, it pissed me off so bad. But yeah, I guess cheese that made him, like, look really faithful. So good for him. But
No, Kitty
that
was
was
robbed.
crazy.
Kitty was robbed.
Kitty, I
Yes,
just
I
want to
was.
Kitty
I
was
would have been
wrong.
if I
such
like,
a good trader. I would have been such a good trader. I was so sad behind my screen. I was like, oh my God, there's no way. But
No, we were
yeah,
really excited to see you play as well. Like we were all sad, but at the same time, I was just shocked that Cheese like somehow landed on it, even if like the reasoning was incorrect. It was crazy.
yes, I got robbed a little
Um,
bit, but geez, that was really good. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
all right, thank you. So, I mean, we're glad to have you here. And honestly, we have a lot of Traders players here, so thank you guys all for coming. Okay, so quickly just finishing up these pre-merge rounds, then Cappy is the first murder of the season, and I think deservedly received the most robbed award here because he was definitely one of the most vocal faithfuls, especially as early on in the game as it was. And so being killed here, smart decision for the traders, but ultimately sad for us because definitely want to see Cappy play here. And then Gamer was the next one voted out of the game. So now we're going into the merge rounds. There are a lot here, so we're going to get to each of these. So this I can't believe, but after outing a traitor in Kitty, Keys was voted out of the game by the other faithfuls. And this is, I think, where the game started to go a little bit crazy. So, Shees, is there anything you remember about your elimination here? Because instead of being killed, which I thought would happen because everyone thought you were faithful, you were voted out. I mean, you need to walk us through this.
what do you mean?
Well, Cheese, how were you voted out
Cheese.
here? I'm really curious. I'm really curious to understand
What
this
do you mean?
elimination
How I was
because
voted out? Like y'all
I mean,
saw that.
after clocking a traitor, like what happened?
Uh,
How did we fall from grace?
yeah.
well, okay. I just got too overconfident
I
and
know we
like
got a
I
rotate.
overplayed it. Like my strategy was like just to act too much, like just do too much, like bully people and stuff. But like I just
And
overdid it. Like I just got too overconfident. Like and yeah, that's
But,
really how I got
you know,
eliminated.
no, that's certainly a strategy. Like bully people and such. I kind of, I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing
Cheese.
the vision. So,
Yeah, it's
anyways,
a strategy.
next we get to. I mean, it is. It definitely is. Anyways, next we get to Jem's elimination. Jem, who was
Guys.
our second murder of the season here. Is there anything you have to say about your elimination? Like thoughts?
Yeah, me clocking Lydia when I was like
Oh,
told them
oh.
like fuck you. Yeah, I was like having a really bad day mentally, so like I feel like that was kind of part of the reason I got so angry.
And we have a clip. We have the clip for that. But yeah,
Wait,
that was
please pull it
definitely
up.
one of
Like, I need to
the,
rewatch this.
definitely one of the craziest moments of the season for sure. And so next we get to Nick, who was voted out. Sean, who was then voted out because there weren't many kills this season, as you would have expected. The Traitors, unfortunately, not very good at completing or just outright refusing to do their tasks. But that's the strategy, so we have to expect it. Then we get Sunshine. I actually cannot remember if Sunshine was voted out or killed here. I want to say she was killed or maybe voted out. No, she was
Yeah,
voted
she was
out.
voted out.
And then we get to the double. Right, it was voted out, and then we get to the double elimination of both Rhapsody and Lilac. So Lilac was invited to speak, but she wasn't. She's not here. Rhapsody, is there anything you have to say about your elimination here in the double? And I will say, like you and Lilac both had like a lot of opportunity to go far here, but unfortunately we're taken out in the double. And to be fair, neither of you were the intended kills initially going into that round. I don't believe Sin, Chris, or Faye
I
actually
know I
wanted
was.
either of you to die here.
it
Yes,
was Vincent Corinne,
It was Vincent Corinne,
Yeah,
it
and
I
was
thought they were the
Vincent
They
one.
both
Corinne.
won safety.
and they both
what?
won.
Yes,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what kind of
right.
had happened? I guess I kind of like shed light a little bit. Was we had like we basically had the 6 people on trial, and we were like kind of like going through of being like, okay, so like what do we do from like here and then what? Once Corinne and Vince had won, we kind of were like, well, shit, we're down to 4. And then Sunshine gets banished, and we're like, well, fuck, we're down to 3. I have been very vocal about this, and I will continue to be very vocal about this. I was very adamant on saving Angel that round. And that was like a very like I would like her to be here still. And it like wasn't supposed to be Lilac or Rap at all. And that sucked a lot to having to do that. But it was like, we had our hands forced, and it's like you gotta do what you gotta do. And it's just, I mean, it's the name of the game. It is.
It really is. And
And
honestly,
also,
yeah.
ooh,
No, go ahead, Faye. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and Vince would have gone her because I would have won that challenge with Corinne 100% until
I
she
mean, we were
started
at the we
like.
were at the bottom of the poll, so it would have been a 1v1.
Well, no, I was
But,
at the top, and then Corinne
or
started
no,
speaking to me
Corinne,
on
Corinne
voice
and me were
chat,
at the bottom.
and then
It would have been
Corinne
a
started
1v1 with me
speaking
and
to
Corinne.
me, saying, "Oh yeah, why are you still up? Like you're not even up for murder." And then I felt pressured to go down because it was very suspicious, and I was like, "Oh no, I forgot. I'm so sorry." So
Yeah, we will.
yeah,
Yeah, I just want to add, we'll
I
definitely get to Corinne's antics this game because there was a lot that Corinne did that ended up like heavily swinging the momentum of this game. Like it might seem small, but even just that one like push that Corinne gave to make Faye fall there, ultimately led to Vince being safe that round, not getting killed, and then making it all the way to the final three, which gave us a very interesting final three to say the least.
Oh, I need to talk
But yeah,
about that when
so
we get there. But
yeah,
anyways.
we'll get there. We'll get there. So just speeding through some of these. Nini was then, I believe, voted out. It was a vote off. Nini was voted out. Lydia was killed by the traitors after basically clocking two of them in one round, and then despite that, no one ever talked about those clocks ever again. No one ever brought that up until like very late in the game. So definitely that's why she ends up winning our Traitors Hunter award here, because of that one round where she basically just like clocked everyone. And then we get to Mother Cora's vote off. So we want to hear any thoughts from Mother Cora here. Like, what happened during this vote off? Like, why were you voted off here? Like, we need to know the tea, if you can, of course, because I see that you're muted.
Oh my god.
I don't really remember, but I do know there was a hate campaign against me in the castle, and I didn't know about it at the time, but like, I just felt a lot of pressure after my sister Lydia was killed the night before. I was kind of spiraling, and then I got attacked by the traitors and jumped, so I don't even know what happened, but that round table I got eaten out by a bunch of men. Like, they were just so traumatizing, but I
Well,
fought for the faithful community, and they did not deserve me, so I got voted out, like, period.
Well, you did make it quite far here, and honestly, it was really exciting to see you play, especially for the first time, because I know there's a lot of people here that have like at least played some semblance of an event like this, or at least with this group. But it was definitely like an honor to have you on this season. So thank you
Oh
for
my god,
playing.
thank you. That was my
Next,
first time playing that, so it was so much fun. Like,
yeah, I mean that's like the goal of these events is like, you know, we do it for people to have fun, and like, I don't know, just like, we love doing this. So thank you guys all for playing and for coming and for applying to our season. So okay, next I have to talk about this. I just really have to talk about this elimination. Sin, we need to know what happened here. Lentil soup gate. I don't really know what to call it. Like, what was this elimination? Like, explain it to everyone, because we need to
Oh, you
know.
bitch.
We just need to know.
So okay, so here's what has happened, right? So I at this point, it's final eight, right? I've objectively made it very far. I think Faye, Chris, and I did a really decent job of like kind of dismissing the fact that it's like we were probably traitors, but like no one could really catch on at that point. And I run into a situation where Roblox had decided at that point that I needed to be voice chat banned for calling Faye big. Um, that
Like it's
single-handedly,
just
that single-handedly catapulted me into what is one of the most brutal eliminations of my entire life. So it was not only a combination of that. So a combination of me being voice chat banned, Chris being voice chat banned, and Vince spawning in the wrong camp that like led to like Corinne for some reason deciding that it was a great idea to like lead this charge that like one of my trader tasks was to talk about like soup because I was eating lentil soup that day, was very excited about my soup, like sent like photos about it in my confessional, like, guys, I'm like eating soup right now, like this just feels so good, like I'm having so much fun. And I'm at a point where like I can't hear. So I guess for context, if you've never been voice chat banned, like don't try it, but you can't hear anything, so like you can't hear what people are saying, and like people can't hear you, and you have to like physically leave the game in order to like come back. And at this point, like I was on my 5 minutes, so like I wasn't going to be able to talk. And I had texted like in the trader chat and I was like, guys, like what's going on? Like what is happening? Like I don't know what's going on. And Faye is like, hey girl,
you're going home.
so you're going home. And I was like,
bye.
I'm sorry, what the fuck? What do you mean? And so it turns out that Corinne decided to get, you know, real confident that she had clocked the fact that one of my trader's tasks was that I had to talk about eating soup. And I'd have mentioned soup or something like that, which, mind you, like was irrelevant to the entire fucking game. It had nothing to do with anything at all. Like I just was really excited about my soup. And so I like in a state of like panic, like start immediately typing. I'm like, guys, so what do you mean? Like, what's going on? Like, why are people voting me? And Corinne was like, so basically, like, you said you ate, like, you had soup, and that actually means that you were a traitor because that was a task, and so you're gonna need to go. To her credit, eh, fair, but like, it was a lot of like just so many things going wrong at the same time. And it was like I couldn't even like defend anything. At that point, like I had like toyed with the idea of like pushing for like I was like willing to like push for like a Corinne vote just to like see what would happen. But it was like me getting screwed, Chris getting screwed, Vince getting screwed, everyone getting screwed. Like it just burned so bad. And it was like one of the most like frustrating things that I've like ever experienced in my entire life. Um and it sucked. It sucked so bad. It was brutal.
It was one of the craziest things. Like it just, I mean, so confidently right in a way, but also like wrong about the reasoning from Corinne. Like the lentil soup was
No,
just, I mean,
it was so dangerously right that it was wrong at the same time. And it was like I had to take a minute and like literally so after I like got evicted, I like was like whatever, cool. Or like I don't banish, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. It's traitors. It's something. I got voted to removed. But I literally had to like sit back and just like was in tears laughing because I was like this like only would it happen to me that like I would really get like voted out over a bowl of soup that had nothing to do with anything going on. But you know what? In the name of sin, I'm glad to make good content. I'm always happy to be entertaining. The people's princess really is what I try and do. But it was funny. It was really, really, really funny. It sucked. It burned. It was brutal. And like I will be getting my lick back. I
oh
trust
yeah,
and believe.
exactly. And for
And
anyone who wants to look
honestly,
back, apply to cycle 2. Yes, go ahead, Faye.
honestly, you two both being VC banned at the exact same time, I think was literally just the start of our downfall. It only got
Yep.
worse from
Oh,
there.
it catapulted everything.
Because I
Yeah,
was
so for
sat
anyone
with like there was 5 people. I think Chris was there, but obviously he couldn't hear. And then suddenly Corinne brings it up, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck can I even say to this? Because it just looks awful if I even try and defend you.
so yeah, so for anyone
It just
confused,
it just like it just sucked. It just sucked.
yes. So like I will say for anyone confused, for the first so for our Big Brother season, or sorry, for our Trader season, this was hosted in Outlaster, so we we might not stick to Outlaster for Traders, but we're still like looking through things. But because this was hosted in Outlaster and this was before the Roblox chat restrictions, we used in-game VC. However, for BBR, because there's no in-game VC for BBR, we used Discord, and for Survival, we used Discord because of the new chat restrictions. So yeah, it was voice chat like in-game, which is why the voice chat bans happened. I think quite often. I think Nini got voice chat banned. Sin definitely did. Chris definitely did. I want to say Faye did as well at some point.
I got voice chat banned twice for the record.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
did.
that's
twice.
Because
Yeah.
as soon as
multiple times.
as soon as I came back, people started voting for
I
me
don't
for no
recall myself
reason.
using
As
voice
soon
chat
as I
banned,
was
but
banned.
Yeah, it was crazy. So
I think I barely used the voice chat. Like I resorted to chat for like the final half, I think.
okay, yeah, like, but honestly, at least we're moving towards a format where like, voice chat bans hopefully won't be a problem too much anymore. So
Also,
no more
Lucas,
voice
I
chat
can't
bans
see your
ruining anyone's games.
I can't see your screen.
Oh, is my screen gone? Sorry about that. I'll try to Is it gone? Like, does no one see it anymore? Okay, here.
I mean, I don't see it.
Okay, here. It should be brought back. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So,
yeah.
sorry. Well, I mean, we'll be getting to that slide anyways because after Sin, we have the
Oh my goodness.
final elimination where Angel is voted out before the final roundtable. so she's not here to give us
Wait,
her
will I
thoughts. But
talk? Will I get
oh
to
well,
talk?
Nini, we did go over your elimination when you weren't here. So if you want to like give any like brief insights on your elimination now that you're
What did
here,
you say
you can go ahead
about
and
my
do that now.
elimination? Because it was so
We just
stupid.
okay. Well, we just like went over it with like the people that weren't here. We just like skimmed through them to get to the people who were here. But now that you're here, you can like talk about them. I didn't really say much about it.
No, because why did Chris say I was the plan? Like, just out of nowhere, he was like, I think Nini should be voted out. Like, literally just searching for anyone. So I don't know why people didn't catch him as the traitor sooner because, like, I don't know, he kept throwing out names and
I
it
mean,
was
I
not.
did. I called him out.
Well, Ellen, that's not true. Like, I was like, I see why you think that. I no, it's not quite. Um, Nini, what the downfall was is that you had openly admitted to like voting for yourself multiple
No,
times,
because literally no
and
one would
that
talk to me. No one would tell me what was happening. So I would self vote.
right. But that like I don't even know how to explain this. Like that to us was like okay, so like that just like feels like an easy thing that we can like use to catapult, and like it was simple as that. Like you happen to just like keep on self voting, and so we were like, well,
Wait, I
let's
Like
just.
literally forgot you
it
were a
could have
traitor
been
for
a
a second. I
traitor's
didn't know why
task.
you were like.
I was, yeah, I was there, and it was a traitor, unfortunately. But it was like it was one of those things where I think it was like you just happened to say the wrong thing at the wrong time. And I think once we kind of hit the third time that you were self-voting, we were like, all right, she's gotta go.
No,
So
I was literally like so
I
sad
wanna
after
I
my
wanna just correct
elimination.
that really fast. Understandably so, but I just wanna correct that.
My final words were,
Then,
"I love you, Haley," and that's all I have to say.
wait, if I could ask a question, Sin, were you going to like backstab the traders, or were you planning to take them to the end? Because like I don't know, I feel like most of us were wondering like, is this going to be a 3 trader win, or like what are we going to see here? You know what I mean? So like, what was your
Ooh.
thought on
What I would have
Traitors
done?
in the end? Yeah, because it
I
was you,
think
Chris, and Faye, final 6, so it was pretty
right.
close.
I
But
think
final 7.
I think that there is a world where it most likely would have been, in my opinion, 2 out of 3. I think that Chris would have been the easy one to take out, and I think it would have been me and Faye going.
Right.
Yeah, I think so
But
as well.
I also think that yeah. So I think that like because Chris was out of the 3 of us, besides me, obviously, you know, with like Corinne being like fucking Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Um, Chris was like I think the most suspicious the entire time. And so it made more sense where it's like if we were going to flip, I think it would have been Chris first. But no, I was planning on going with them all the way. Absolutely. If I think if the opportunity presented itself, I fully would have.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. So that is everything for the merge rounds. So we're going to get onto our final roundtable here. So there's a lot of very, I'd say, big characters in the cast that go home here. So unfortunately, Chris cannot be with us, but he was the first person eliminated at the final roundtable. This vote was actually really close. I think this was a 2-2-2 vote between Chris, Faye, and Cora, I want to say.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, this was a very close vote between the 3 of them. Ultimately, Chris ends up going
It was
home
two
here
two one
in the
one.
tiebreaker.
Sorry.
Oh
It
yes,
was
because
2-2-1-1.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was a tie between Faye and Chris.
okay, yeah. So actually, it was a tie between Faye and Chris, and then surprisingly here we get. I mean, Faye did receive a lot of votes at this final roundtable, somehow squeezing her way all the way to the final 4. We'll get to that. Actually, we'll get to it right now because Cora's not here. So we get Cora's elimination at the final 5. I don't believe this was another tie, although it could have been. There was a lot of ties, definitely, in this final roundtable, like more than usual. But Cora's ultimately voted out here at the final 5. And then we get to, I think, probably one of the craziest, I'm not even exaggerating, for people who didn't see this season, this final 4 was insane. So I'll just give like a brief summary of it so that everyone understands what we're talking about, and then we'll ask Vince, Faye, Corinne, and Haley to chime in on it. So what we get here is basically a situation where Vince and Faye both vote for Haley, and then Haley and Corinne both vote for Faye, so it ties 2-2 between Faye and Haley. And in order to break this tie, we basically force Vince and Corinne to come to a consensus on whether they want to eliminate Faye or Haley. And Corinne stands her ground, very smart, and basically convinces Vince after I want at least 10 minutes of back and forth to let go of Faye here. And I'll briefly talk about this final three. Then we get to the final three, and Corinne, rather than sticking to her word and bringing Vince to the final two or just ending the game there, decides to betray Vince with Haley, and the two of them end up winning the game. So honestly, all four of you, like I want to hear your thoughts on this final four, like what happened, what was going through your minds, and like just give us everything for this final four.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here.
Definitely.
Okay, can I talk first?
Sure. Sure.
Okay, so can we go back to the final five? Like Faye, it was obvious that Corinne and Haley were a duo, and they're gonna bring each other to the end. Why did you
And then
vote
you
Cora?
still fell for it in the final four. Like, I don't get it.
I mean,
It
you
doesn't
were the
matter because
traitor,
it would have been
so
a 2v2. It doesn't matter
there
to
was
me
no
because the
way for
thing
me.
is,
No, it
I
was
think
because
for
if you
me,
voted
it's
Haley out, then it would have. Sorry, you can go.
okay. So for me, it started in the final six. I didn't expect to get the 2 votes that early. I just honestly didn't expect it at all. So that's why I voted for Chris originally, because I didn't think I was going to get any votes, and I thought it'd make me look more like a faithful if I stuck with the crowd. And once I got the votes, I was like, okay, I'm probably going to have to try and stick with Vince at this point. And then I can't remember. I don't remember why I voted for Cora. I don't think I really thought about the hating Corinne because I always knew that I would stick with you. So at the most, it would be a 2v2, which I think was when the issue kind of happened. Because the thing is, you said to me, I really think that Haley is a traitor. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I think so as
Okay,
well.
me
And I would
saying
feel more
that was
comfortable
because
voting
Corinne
her
and Haley
out.
were a duo. That
But
was
that's what
because
you
Corinne
said
and
to
Haley
me. So
were a
that's why
duo.
I was
Like, I didn't
taking
want
it
them to bring
as.
to the end.
But I wouldn't know anything else if
And
that's what
it
you
put me in a
told me.
situation where in the final four there was literally no way for me to win. Like, I couldn't have won at all. It was either I chose you to win or I chose Haley and Corinne to win because they're both snakes. Like,
But you didn't know I
there's
was the
nothing for me to
traitor.
do.
And
But I
anyway, so
knew
it was the
one
tie. It was
traitor.
the
The
tie
reason I
vote.
flipped because I knew there was one traitor in at least one in the final four, and I knew it wasn't Haley and Corinne because they were both a duo, and I was assuming we already got like the three traitors out, so like I was assuming it was you, like when they were convincing
So I
me,
mean,
and it
what
was you.
you
So
said to me was, I think that Haley's a traitor. So obviously, I was like, okay, that's not Haley. Then it makes the most sense because at that point, Corinne was a confirmed faithful.
that was because they were a duo because I wanted them out.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so that's why I voted for Haley with you. It was a 2v2 tie, and I thought it's fine. It's a tie vote, and then the news came out that on like a deadlock tie, it wouldn't just be left at random. The game would just end automatically. And
Yeah,
honestly,
I wasn't ending it
I
because
was
I
fine
knew
with.
there was a traitor. Like,
I mean, I was fine with that because it meant that I would have won. But then I think
yeah.
what happened is the reason why you flipped was because Corinne said that she would end the game at 3 with you and Haley. And I think that's where the main issue lied because I told you so many times in that final that those two were not going to end the game with you at all. And I even said to you, we
Okay,
can
so why
vote
didn't you
out
vote them in
Corinne
the
or
final
any
five? Why didn't you vote them in the final
because it
five?
wasn't
That would have
necessary
happened.
because
It
they
was
would have voted
necessary
for
because then it
them
would be a
anyway.
2v2. It would have been a
They would have
2v2,
voted
so it was necessary.
whoever the two left was going to vote with each other. Like it wasn't going to be a split vote.
Okay, so it was going to be deadlocked, or they're both going to win.
It
So
was
if you
going to
just
be
voted Haley in the
deadlocked
final five,
regardless.
like,
I
no,
mean,
it wouldn't have, because
regardless,
But
like,
anyway,
if in the final four, it would have been a 3v1.
Anyway,
all right.
all I'm saying is you agreed to Kova when Corinne offered you that final free seat, and that's why you threw me under the bus. And then she immediately got rid of you. And I think that I'm not even bitter about it because honestly, that's all the karma that I needed from that final, and I'm fine with it.
I mean, if I could
I mean,
chime
there
in,
was
like,
no way for me to
also,
win. That was my only opportunity.
well, I will say something. I actually think you're both right here. Because yes, technically, Vince did decide to vote Faye out here, because to be fair, to Vince's credit, you were technically in a deadlock situation. Like, though, to be fair, I guess your only real way out was just hoping that Corinne wouldn't betray you, which ultimately didn't happen. But yeah,
I wasn't surprised.
regardless, it was still like, from like a viewer perspective, that was an extremely entertaining Final Four, and led to definitely one of the craziest moments of the season, alongside Gem's crash out from the beginning of the game. So, anyways, then we get to our final three. Vince is taken out by Corinne and Haley, and we have, of course, our winners of the season, Corinne and Haley. I see you guys are both muted, but if there's anything you want to say, like, about the season, about your win, like your strategies, like, let us know now. And if you can't talk, it's fine. Just like let us know in the chat so that we know. Because I remember Haley mentioning something about maybe being able to talk. So, but I'm not sure about Corinne.
Okay.
Hello, Corinne.
I don't think there's like much to say because everything's been said. Like, that's basically how it played out. I knew I was always going to end it with Haley. And I just want to say, at the Mother Cora vote, I was one of the only 2 votes to vote Faye. Like, I didn't have any concrete proof against Faye. It was just kind of like my gut. But yeah, I didn't even think it was Chris, though. That was like my weakness. I didn't think it was Chris because he accused too many people. But I was always going to end
you kind of were like Sin mentioned it, you kind of were like the Sherlock Holmes in terms of like Faye and Sin, not only clocking Sin, maybe for the wrong reasons, but it was definitely correct. And then obviously standing your ground at that Final Four to basically secure the win, because Faye, had she not been voted out at that Final Four, would have won. And then obviously giving us an insane moment at the Final Three, which, it's fun to look back on. I'm sure like it wasn't the greatest moment for the person involved, Vince, at the time. But I mean, looking back on it is definitely like a really fun moment, and like just
I mean, it was
something to like think on.
I'm not
Yeah,
mad
it
about
was
the season. It
entertaining.
was really fun. Like, I liked it.
Wait, Corinne,
Okay,
were you
Haley.
and Haley Haley going to the end something that was like pre-planned? Like, did you guys talk about it, or was it just like a consensus in the end? Like, did you talk about going to the final 2 with Haley, or did you just
Oh, they
like
for
kind of
sure
like
did.
decide? So it was talked about.
My favorite cereal is probably Cocoa Puffs. Oh.
So, bye.
So, bye.
Bye.
Looks
Or
around.
never mind. Never mind.
No, you know what? Like,
Okay, wait.
Okay, I love Haley so much. Like, she's literally my best friend in like online. Like, how Kay is to Cora, I am to Haley. Because as soon as I saw her in the game, I was like, yeah, like we're gonna go far. And I was, of course, gonna end it with her because I kind of knew Haley would not be a good traitor just because it'd be so obvious. Because I feel like I can tell when she lies and stuff like that. So I just like had
okay,
like
so
I knew she was a faithful.
you kind of had that like instinct. Well, honestly, your instincts were extremely good this season. With the Sin and Faye, I guess the one weakness was, of course, Chris, but definitely the Sherlock Holmes of our season. Haley, I see you unmuted. Is there like anything that you want to say, or is that like?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
wait.
for
Can I say
that.
something? I'm so sorry.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead. We're gonna move on to Survivor right after. But yeah.
Sin, I got a question on when you guys murder. I'm pretty sure I asked you this already, but I forgot what you said, honestly. But when you murdered Cappy, why didn't you murder me?
Yeah, no,
Because like
that's a
in the
really
chats here, I just sent it.
so
Like you guys were like
no,
spamming to kill me.
Why
Like,
do you have that?
that's a great. I mean,
like I'm just
that's a
confused
great
on
question
like
actually.
why I didn't get murdered.
So my logic is, and this is like a very like interesting thing. The like Ukraine fence is just really funny. I at that point Cabby had kind of already started like clocking people as like that they were traitors and like had suspicions and stuff, and they were all incorrect, like so drastically incorrect that one, I thought it'd be interesting to try and like see if we can push to like frame it so we can like kill him so it like looks like Gamer literally like did it, which worked, and Gamer ended up
Yeah.
going out the next round. But additionally, you had come to me and had wanted to work with me,
Final
and that's
two.
not something that I take right, and that's not something that I take lightly, and I took that like very serious. And like as much as I would have loved to have like killed you like later on, at that point I was like, no, no shot. Like I had to like earn trust somehow, and to me that was the best move long term to continue to foster that
Yeah.
trust. But
Okay,
he
I
didn't
get
do
it
too
Just
now.
kept
much.
on
He was
winning. He
trying a
just
little bit
kept
too
on
much.
winning immunities.
Like it just sucks.
That
Like
was
it
my
just
only
sucks.
way. If I
Mind
lost,
you,
you guys were gonna murder me. Like I had to win.
right.
I think,
Well,
to be fair, we didn't really
right.
get
Well,
murder that
no,
much.
actually,
But
no. There was one time where we could have, and we didn't. There was
Was that
one.
on Lydia's? Pretty sure.
That was Lydia's. We absolutely could have.
I didn't
I
know
pushed
why
for
we
that
went
one.
to
I pushed for
Lydia.
Lydia to go. Well, we pushed Lydia because I was snobbish and really wanted that.
Well, can
Well,
I just
Lydia
say,
started
Lydia
coming for me
was
like
Lydia,
right
they were
before the
like
murder.
arguing mid round, and then Lydia just gets murdered. Like I was so happy.
no Lydia was definitely like clocking the traitors. I believe I think Lydia clocked Faye, and I don't know if it was Sin or Chris, but I think they clocked two
Literally,
traitors
while
in
we
one
were
round.
voting, she came up to me and she was like, "I think you're a traitor."
Yeah, it was crazy. So that was definitely a good kill. But anyways, thank you guys so much for this. I just like trying to get to the Survivor segment now. So thank you guys so much, everyone, for like showing up for this weekend. Thank you for all the thoughts on this Traitor season and the Traitor segment. Before we go on to Survivor, we have, of course, the
Bye,
clip of Gem.
community.
We have Gem's, I don't know, crash out or clocking, like whatever you want to call it.
Oh my
So here it is.
goodness. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Jam just got killed.
Oh, I'm sick. No, like this just sucks. Like this just sucks.
Yeah, you heard me right. No shade. I'm happy Jem is out of here. Jem, I love you. Oh.
Oh,
Like I'm not
shit.
trying to be rude. Wait, I'm not trying to be rude, but she was yelling. I have a headache right now. Jem is still here. Doing too much.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's go.
Anyways, thank you so much for that. Oh wait, Gem, is there anything you want to say like briefly before we go on to Survivor? Like in chat, like, or do you need to say it? Like, okay, Gem,
What was your
let us know.
question?
Let us know your
Like, what
thoughts
was the
before you go
question?
on to Survivor. Like your thoughts,
Yeah,
yeah.
I kind of already said my thoughts before, but I don't regret what I did, basically.
And we love that. And we love that because you ate.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right, thank you so
Diva.
much, Jem. All right, so we are going to officially get into our Survivor segment. So we'll invite all the Survivor players on stage. Sorry, let me just get to the next slide. Yes. Okay, Trix, you can start inviting them. And Trix will take over from here for the most part. So I'll just be switching the slides. Trix, whatever you want me to switch, just let me know.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm
it's
just
so
making
nice.
sure we
It's so
have
nice.
everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our first Survivor season. We set a record-breaking amount of applications that came in. We ended it at like right at 70 applications. And in fact, there were actually a couple that were opened and closed. So we kind of went over that. But at the end of the day, like 70 like valid workable applications. And that just like absolutely means the world to us. Like these seasons are a lot of effort and take, you know, weeks of background work for us to cast and make graphics. And on that note in particular, like I just want to give a major shout out to Lucas and Braden for really like going over the top and like helping make this vision come to life and really like go next level with the graphics and the intro. So thank you for that. Lucas, we can move on to the next slide.
Okay, perfect.
So when it came to casting this season, it was really important for me and the rest of us to kind of have a clean slate and really hold space for a lot of new players to these games in general, and definitely to the TBL alum. So most of this cast, which in the first place we did only decide to have 16 people on the cast, we want this experience to feel as like real and intense as possible, and you kind of have to hit that Goldilocks number. So for this particular season, 16 was that number. We really wanted to prioritize brand new applicants and some legacy players from past events that haven't played in a very long time, and kind of bring together this really interesting mix for this cast. So thank you guys for absolutely just like bringing your A game. I mean, you guys brought the personality, the strategy, the mess, the drama, the whole tea. Like I couldn't have asked by tax. Like I couldn't have asked for a better season 1 cast. So thank you guys so much for that. Obviously the one last thing I'll say about casting, we really do, despite what some people might think, dissect what people might be like, their strengths and weaknesses throughout the cast. So for this season 2, we wanted to make sure that we didn't have 100 comp beasts coming in and just dog walking this season. So yeah, so we had some questions about that. But I think that's all I have for this slide, Lucas, unless if you want to add anything here.
Okay. I don't think. I mean, well, I think you already touched on it, but this cast was
It was just
amazing.
mostly, yeah, like pairing social players with strategic players with comp beasts. Like we had to maneuver each tribe. I mean, that's mostly Trix is doing, but we just wanted to make sure that like one tribe wasn't full of strategic players and then the other tribe was full of comp beasts. So we had to like kind of hand make the tribes, which Trix did do that mostly, but
yes. Yeah, I mean,
a lot of work goes into it.
We had probably like 3 different like almost finalized cast versions that we went with. Just like going back and forth between like what has the best balance and then like what tribes can we make out of that. But yeah, you guys definitely like served on that front. So thank you.
All right, yeah. So I guess with that, we'll get into the elimination segment. So, sorry, wait. Yes, we can talk about drafts, of course. First.
Yeah. So the continuation of the draft curse. Because yeah, Flower definitely like swept with these draft picks. This is the highest one in TBL history so far, right? Or is that wrong?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I believe Sev received 22, so Flower's at 27.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
wow.
by the way, that's a 20 for love, not 28.
Yes. So yeah, just like very high stakes there for Flower, one of our legacy players, as described earlier. But it's kind of interesting. You can see going into the season, Flower, Love, Tax Evader. These were people that had played in former events that kind of came out of retirement for this. So yeah, definitely the pressure was on for them. And yeah, Flower made it further than the other high draft picks, but still at the end of the day, we have not had a draft winner win a season. That's really all I have on that.
So let's move on to the pre-jury.
Yeah, so for this pre-jury, honestly, it went by pretty fast. First of all, just like thank you guys for dealing with us to moving over to this new Discord VC format. This was our first proper season using the Discord VC. So there was you know, a little bit of clunk there, but like thank you guys for being a good sport and working with us with that. Yeah, I mean, really from here, we'll just kind of like brisk over a couple things. We unfortunately did have Eggy as our first boot. I think like their biggest thing was just falling victim to not really being able to find their footing super early in the game. Is Eggy with us? Eggy was here earlier, but I don't see them.
Yes, they are.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, there he is. Okay, Eggy, do you have any anything to say about your elimination?
It simply sucked.
It did suck. It did suck. And I want to say like you definitely stood out in the application process. You were an alternate, but you did stand out for me because of the test game that we did the week before. So for anybody out there, like definitely play the test games. It does help your chances of getting cast. But yeah, Eggy, is that all you have?
Yeah, yeah.
For real.
Yeah, I think with the test game, like it made me think like maybe I should like stick to the majority, and then literally after we lost the first round, everybody dispersed, and it was just like me and one other person in like one of the calls, and I thought, well, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah, that's rough. Oh, but after Eggy's elimination, we would have quite the interesting turn for our green Yisao tribe. During the next challenge, Talia ended up walking from the competition. Definitely did not help their tribe. After that, With Love was unfortunately the next boot after that. Of course, because of our gaggy, was it an idol? No, it wasn't the idol play. It was the last chance, right?
No, it was an idol. Yeah.
Okay, it was Drake's
No, yeah,
idol.
this one was an idol, I think.
Okay, yeah, Drake's
Yeah.
idol. Okay, yeah, his shot in the dark was the next round. Obviously nullifying the votes. And I mean, yeah, that was kind of a crazy vote in the first place. So if any of the players want to share your experience and unpack that,
Yeah.
definitely go ahead and have the floor.
That'd be
Oh my
great
god.
for me because I was like I was an alternate, so I came into the season like, you know, looking at people and stuff, and I was like, love, like that bitch is gonna win. Like, and then I came into the season and I was on the tribe and I was like, oh my god, this bitch is my number one. So I'm talking to Love, I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, like let's lock in. Like that was my number one. And then I go move to a call with Drake and I don't know, some other flop. Who was it? I don't know, but Drake and someone else. And they were like, who are we voting? Who are we voting? And I was just talking to Love and I didn't want it to be suspicious. So I just said the first name that came to my mind and I was like, Love, we're voting Love, obviously. And then he used his idol and then he did get my number one out at the time. And yeah, that was very sad for me. But yeah, thank you.
Tax Evader, do you have any insight into Love's elimination by chance?
Yeah, so that was a funny vote because ahead of time I talked to Love and Love was like, I'm worried about Nidal. And I was like, thank you, because I was also worried about Nidal. So we both were talking about splitting the votes there to make sure that if Drake did have an idol, it would just go on Ariamis. And I did vote for Ariamis in a split, and Love last second panicked and did not do the split as we talked about. And Love would have stayed in the game. He did not flip last second. So that was fun. Love was also my number one on that tribe. So since Ben and I both kind of had that relationship, and I think Gowan and Love were really close. So Love was kind of running that tribe up until
They were robbed.
getting
They were
himself
robbed.
voted out. A little bit.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, overall, like this pre-jury definitely did show a lot of potential. Obviously Drake is not here to discuss his advantage plays, but Those definitely came in clutch for him. Yeah, like players like him, Love, Rose. I mean, definitely, like even our first boot. Like we have so much potential here in this pre-jury. So yeah, don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on them. Pre-jurors, do you guys have any final words? Well, I guess that would only be Iggy.
I do think that's only idea.
Okay. Anyways,
Bye.
bye.
Wait, I do have a question. I do have a question for that tribe. Oh, I'm sorry, Aggie. You want to speak? Go ahead.
No, that sound I did was my final words. Thank you.
Okay, work.
All right, artist.
I was speaking of Drake and the idol plays. There was a time because our tribe was rooting for him low key because we were just seeing like the results and stuff, and we seen that he played the immunity idol and he received like 0 votes or something. So like, what was the thought process that like elimination? Like, what was going on?
If I can
I don't know
just
if y'all
say,
recall.
I do think the idol was correctly played during Love's elimination, and then Drake played a shot in the dark during Ariamas's elimination, and then didn't receive a vote, from what I remember. And the shot in the dark worked, but he didn't receive a vote anyways.
Correct.
Right. Okay, boom. There you go. Okay.
Adding on to that though, for
Yeah.
people like on the other tribe, did you guys have any reactions to some of these people being voted out? Like Love, like what was your reaction to that? Like were you planning to align with any of them and merge, or like if any of you guys can add on that?
I'd be happy to just pipe in a little bit. I was a bit shocked about Love getting idled out, just because, like, oh, this is a weird way to, like, talk about them, but, like, we kind of have history with games that we've played before, and, I was definitely intrigued, if that's the right word, seeing them in the season, and I was just like, okay, they're here. Whoopee. And was obviously sad for Rose just because I was like, oh, she's really nice. I'd love to work with her, but Diva down. Hopefully, she'll be back for a future game.
I don't know, like our reactions. I'll speak like maybe on the behalf of like the people I shared VCs with when it was going on. We were honestly, when it came down to eliminations, I didn't know anybody. Like I didn't know a single person on the cast. So I was like kind of rooting for the underdog a little bit because I was like, at some point there would be a team swap and that would be like an extra ally. So I think I was actually looking to ally with Drake, but things changed.
Which, of course, I mean, we'll touch on it as we go on, but famously, we have to talk about the first iteration of the Janae codes with saying that she is going to vote for someone whose name sounds like a gardening tool. And then artists famously misunderstanding gardening tool and hearing guardian angel and being like, girl, whose guardian angel are you talking about? Like,
Bye.
it was
Girl.
it was iconic.
No, I swear to God, I was not the only person that heard that. Like somebody else heard that too because
I heard Guardian Angel too. I didn't hear Guardian Tool.
Yes, I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't know any guardian angels. Like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? But I already
Wait, no. I
pretty
think I
much-
heard. I think I heard Garden Tool, but I also understand why people heard Guardian Angel because it was like a little muffled or something. Like honestly, that
Yeah.
tribal was a shit show.
I mean, to be honest, I think from me and Janae's standpoint, like, cause we kind of said the same thing, like after the show, like we knew that Drake had to go because like he really didn't give us anything, and then try to throw one of our allies at that point under the bus, and it was like that was odd. Instead
Right, like
of
you guys
throwing
try to give
Hatomi
him
under the
like a
bus,
little,
but
what's the word?
I
Olive
try
branch.
to like stick my neck out for him. I mean, I knew at the end of the day, whether he stood or went, my vote really wouldn't have mattered, and nobody was really gonna go against me because we were like tight.
All right. I think with that we should probably like get to the jury segments. There's a lot to talk about in this jury segment.
The last part I just want to say there is obviously Love was the only pre-juror to receive an award. And it was really hard to choose between best confessional or most robbed. But we will get to that later on.
All right, so let's move on to our jury for this game, and a lot of you are here, so I'm guessing this will be quite a lengthy talk, which
Yeah,
obviously that's amazing.
Right. I'm gonna mostly let you guys have the floor for this one. But I am just gonna quickly go over the awards. Capri would be so thrilled, and I'm sure he just started crying when he saw that meme won the Chameleon Award. This award in particular this season, yes, it was for an under the radar player, but it was also for kind of a player that didn't like showed a lot of potential. The thought process was there. He just never quite picked it up to where he could have been. So that's why he got the Chameleon Award this time around. Kind of a mix of high potential and being under the radar. For Hitomi, I mean, best dressed, self-explanatory, boots. Nothing else. No notes. No notes. And obviously, her and Artist would go on to be our villains of the season. Artist, girl, I'm gonna let you handle that one. Like you already know your tea. But Hitomi definitely surprised a lot of players with her playstyle this season. Because she does have quite the reputation of being kind of like the sweet little sister in the server. And here she was leaking information left and right. And just like, girl, she was doing whatever the hell she wanted. And I appreciate that. Hitomi, do you want to elaborate on your kind of on your playstyle this season?
Hi. Wait, can you hear me? Wait, hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Is it possible that she can't hear us, but we can hear her? That could be a possibility.
Yeah, she might have to turn y'all up.
Okay, I think we can like circle back to Hitomi. Yeah, we can circle back to her.
Yeah, we can move on. So next, we are going to go to Flower for winning our influencer and most robbed awards. There was a little bit of double stacking on these awards this season, but like at the end of the day, we just had to pick who fit the category the best. Like I said earlier, most robbed like typically does go to somebody who went out earlier in the game that showed a lot of potential. But this time around, it really just felt right to give it to Flower, who was robbed of their opportunity to actually fight for that spot in the final four against Tax Evader, because that would have been a showdown for the ages, like truly. And then the Influencer Award, I mean, I don't know if I even have to elaborate on that one. I think Flower played one of the most amazing social games I have ever seen in any of these games. Because how are you going to sit there when you have not caught a vote the whole time in conversations and people are like, oh, we have to get out Juana's. He hasn't caught a single vote. And Flower's just sitting there, sitting pretty and like, you're right. And just like their ability to rebound is just like amazing. So we will definitely be chatting on that a little bit further. But Flower, if you would like to elaborate on your experiences with these awards.
Oh gosh, there's a lot that blah.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Well, obviously, thank you for the awards. I try to not like keep my expectations up for anything like when it comes to like drafting and awards and the actual game itself. I try to go into like every game, every season, like open mind, like okay, this is gonna happen, or I don't know what's gonna happen, blah blah blah. But I had a lot of fun. Winning influencer. I don't know. Like, I guess I had a feeling, like a little, like, I think I might be able to qualify for that one. Just because I mean, I didn't prepare anything to say, but really happy to get recognized by y'all. Thank you. Of course, I would have loved to have fought for my fought at Final Tribal Council, but it's it is what it is. Happy with the game. I'm very happy with the game I played. Happy with the awards that I got. I'll just pass the mic on. I don't really, or I guess I can. What am I supposed to talk about here? Actually,
No, it's just open format.
I mean, I will say like Egg. Sorry for throwing your name at the first round. Atomics, if you're still here, I hope you enjoyed being a 10th placer instead of a 4th placer for once.
I hope he. Sorry.
Ben, go on. Well, we could have been such an iconic final tribal council, but
No,
it is what it
no,
is.
no, Flowers. You were so messy because as soon as he got voted out, you were all like, "I'm so glad he's gone. Oh my god, I would have never taken him to the end." Girl, you were messy. You
No,
were
no, no.
so
Wait,
fucking
let me
messy.
elapse. I would have loved to have gone to the end with Ben, but
Wait,
what happened was during the vote when Janae's like, something last name Platt, I'm just like, girl, what the fuck are you going on about? And they're like, Ben, vote Ben. I'm like, well, no, I don't want to vote Ben. And I'm just like, well, Ben's probably going now, so I'm just like, I'll throw my vote on Janaea just to stir the pot a little bit, and then when I went to a voice call with Janaea after, I was like, go on, Hobson. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, Janaea, you ate that. You were that was fucking amazing. And go on's just sitting there thinking that I backstabbed Ben right after saying I
I
wanted to
really
work with him.
was. I was like, damn, I can't trust this fucker anymore, but I can't act about it. So I just stayed quiet. I can literally
Mind
stay
you,
quiet and knew to kept you around.
the only reason why I was out anyways was because of Atomics, and I'm ready to speak on it because I've been biting my tongue the whole time because I was kind of irrelevant the
Speak on
whole
it.
season.
I'm a bad
So,
ally.
but I'm ready
Tax
to
calling
speak
me a
on
bad
it.
ally. Oh wow.
Oh my god!
Okay, buddy.
Because oh wait, sorry. Do you still have stuff to say? Am I interrupting? Anyways, anyways, Atomics. Like so, pre-merge. Like it's a tribe split. Whatever. I won't talk about it too much. But me, Taxivator, and Go On. Like that was my trio. Those were my sisters that game. Like that was supposed to be the final three. Okay, no shade. So when we go into a tribe, it was like a 3-3 tribe split, and I was with Go On and Tax. So I went to Atomics, and I was like, hey, vote Rose. And then Tax went to like fucking Meme and was like, hey, vote Rose. And then it was a 4-2 vote. So I was like, shit. Like I blew up at Meme. I was like, Meme, why did you vote me? Meme, why did you vote me? And then he was like, I didn't vote you, right? And I was like, wait, so Atomics, you voted me? And this man said, I prefer not to discuss my vote. So I'm like, okay, he obviously voted me then. Why do I find out 5 minutes before this reunion he doesn't fucking vote me? Hello? Why wouldn't you tell me? Like, I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
No,
Anyways,
because okay. So from my point of view, I was working with Rose and Meme. So I was like, oh wait, I don't want to announce that I voted Rose in front of Meme. So I was like, oh wait, why would I do that? So I was like, okay, let me just not say anything. But then that kind of fucked me over because then you started targeting me. High key, I'm kind of disappointed with how I played. I mean, 10th boot kind of sucks. Take me back to 4th, please. I'd really appreciate that.
No,
I
you can't
think
have that.
we can have that and we should have that. I think I definitely could have played better, but like love.
I promise
Yeah.
you, if you told me you didn't vote me, it would have been different. It would have been a different story for both of us. It would have. Because, like, I'm just so confused. Like, and I'm hurt. And, like, but it's whatever. I got 9th place. I came
Ben,
in as
can I say something about that?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Because we spoke about that, and I didn't even know Atomics was Final Four hater. Shout out to you in the comments because I really did not know that was the same person. But Final Four hater and Hatomi, I feel like was the the reasons why, and me, like, were the reason why you got out, because they basically gave me the 411 on everything that was going on and basically made it seem like you were running the show. And like I told you, me and you had zero relationship. And once, like, you know, I heard you had my name in your mouth, whatever, I went to my alliance and pretty much was like, Ben gotta go now.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
like, there was no way y'all was gonna be able to work together because he already had snitched on you.
yeah, I came into the season with really high expectations for myself. You know, I was the alternate and I wanted to show that I grew as a player. And then I kind of like fell back into chaos. I guess it's what I do best, you know. But
Yeah, it is.
I agree. I had a
Never
lot of
change,
fun.
Ben. Never change.
I beat myself up over it for a while, but now looking back on it, like I did have control over pre-merge. Well, maybe not like control is the right word, but I was in the majority alliance all the time. I got my way almost all the time except for the love boot, and even then it's like, okay, it wasn't me who got idled out, so I'm chilling. So yeah, I'm personally proud of the game I played. I think my biggest mistake was thinking Atomics did vote me, because then I like
It was.
but also Atomics, like you can't blame me. Like oh sorry. Okay, go ahead, Hitomi.
Yeah, I high key did something.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
I do have something to say. This is Ben's elimination, right?
Right. Well, leading up to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, leading up to it. Do I just talk about Ben's elimination here, or do I wait?
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Open format.
I mean, yeah, this
Okay.
is more of a discussion, yeah.
Sorry, I'm on the side of the road getting signals. My bad. My thought process was like, when I came into the season, like I've played with Ben before. I knew what kind of player he was, and I was like, you know what, changed. Maybe like he's a hero now. Like he said he was. He was not. He was definitely not. And I saw very quickly that he was the same Ben I knew, and like he was the loudest, and I took that as like, oh, gonna control stuff if like I don't do something. And someone leaked to me that, hey, these people are kind of like, don't trust you. They're like kind of spreading your name. You don't trust them. And I was like, you. And
was it Janae?
The moment they told
I
me the
believe it
names,
was Janae.
no, it was not Janae. It was Meme.
And that's
Oh,
meme.
Yeah.
Because if Atomics just told me he
It was
didn't vote me,
Meme.
I would have believed him and I wouldn't have trusted Meme. But Atomics didn't tell me that. Like, oh my god. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna okay.
I had this in the game.
Meme told me about that stuff, and I was like, you know what? We're just gonna replay old stuff. I'm gonna fire back. I'm gonna fire back. And I already knew who I could trust. And I went up to Jenny, and our original vote, instead of Ben, was gonna be either go on or tap. I think it was go on from what I remember. But I don't know why Jenny changed last minute, and what we know is Jenny code.
Because of me.
Got Ben out. Yeah. In my opinion, Janae was the one that controlled Ben, but like it was originally supposed to be like another vote.
It was supposed to be another vote. I had a conversation with Janae, and I said we gotta get rid of Ben, and then that's how Ben got voted out. Rally the troops.
Yeah, well, I do wish Janae was here to
Oh my!
provide
Is
more
my
insight,
mic that
but,
bad? Hello.
No, it's good to hear you. Don't worry about it.
A lag.
But okay, so just
Oh
like
my lord.
it's good though. He told me we can hear you. But just like to move things along, I believe well, we're going to get to, I guess, the final part of this Survivor game, which is of course the finale. So of course in the finale, well, I'll just hand the mic over to Trix.
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep it pretty quick. Obviously, I mean, it goes without saying, Taxivator definitely earned that Dark Horse award. I mean, he played from the bottom, but in a way that he actually like optimized his bottom placement throughout the game, at least from watching all the tapes back and watching it live in the moment too. And definitely his duo with Gawan was just like so fun to watch. Y'all had a really interesting dynamic where you were like definitely loyal to each other, but Tax was kind of the more nonchalant, subdued side of the duo, whereas Gawan was not afraid to be vocal and kind of like stimulate some gameplay on the other side. And I mean, the ultimate camp villain herself, artist. I mean, girl, you were just calling people out left and right, speaking your mind. We will take it back just a little bit to that final five, where of course Artist plays his idol for Tax Evader, nullifying those votes and leaving the 2 votes to 1 votes to Flower. So finalists, if y'all want just a quick minute to have the floor, you are welcome to it now. If not, then we'll move on to the next segment.
Oh, sorry.
Wait.
I thought I was
Oh, the
unmuted. Go ahead,
finalists.
artist. You have the floor. You have the floor.
No, you got it. You got it.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. You left to speak. Go ahead.
I don't really. I'm probably just gonna add on to y'all, to be honest. So y'all could go ahead. I mean, we could start with the winner first.
That is true. Well, not deserving winner, but hey.
Bye.
No. Yeah, I think the shade is at least somewhat deserved. I felt like my game is like I'm proud of it. I think that I played a bad hand relatively well, but I also was pretty lost throughout the game, at least at a couple different votes, or like powerless at other votes, which is not something I'm used to. I think in all the was it 3 times I've played before this, I'd pretty much been in complete control of literally every vote. Like I think I've been in the majority alliance in every single vote that I've been in pretty much all of them, because the only times I'd ever gone out were either I got idled out in a majority at Final 5 once, and then I got tribe swap screwed the other 2 times after being in a majority all of the pre-merge up to that point. So I'd never been in a minority before, and so I felt like I was kind of struggling because that was very new for me. But I do think I had some solid plays, and I was very, very glad that a lot of the bigger targets kind of went after each other, because I think that was much to my advantage, because there were a lot of really good players on this season. Like it was definitely the highest caliber, I think, of play of any of the seasons I've been on or watched in this community. So I'm very, very happy that I could be a part of that. But yeah,
And
that's
that's
all
on
I've got.
TBL.
That's on TBL. I was gonna say I had an unfair hand, to be honest. I knew Ben outside of this, and that's literally about it. So I knew I could trust him immediately. So them being gone, it really did fuck up my game. What else I was gonna say? That alliance with Tax, we barely even spoke, and when we spoke, it was so short and quick, and we had to dip quickly to the point where we kind of like psychically linked. I have terrible memory.
Every time we spoke, I knew you were never lying to me. So that was huge.
And that's the thing. I love lying. Like lying is so fun.
I'm so
serious. I
this?
love.
I'm gonna just.
I'm
gonna start off with the good about this, okay? And you know what? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say today, go on. I don't feel like we had any reason to beef, and I'm gonna give you your 10s. Thinking back on it, I do feel like you definitely played a great part with me in getting Juanes out, because I don't think anybody wanted him out. I truly did. He voted for me the first fucking tribal. So like I always knew he was just the 4th like leg. But I do feel like you definitely knew at least more what was going on than Tax. And Tax, with you, I did feel a way, and I never got to really address it because in your final speech, not the final speech, but like the final question, when you had answered it, I feel like you took credit for my moves. and try to say that you emotionally manipulated me, where I know I didn't do many confessionals, but I do recall doing one confessional where we got to merge and I pretty much gave out a hit list, and I was always going to betray Janae and Flower. I just needed the right opportunity, and when I found the advantage, I knew she had the advantage. Everything was supposed to work out. Unfortunately, she didn't click the button to give me the safety first, so then she could play the other safety on Flower and I could get her out. But it still worked out because I knew they had to go out 5-4, and if they didn't, I mean, I was gonna die on that hill, pretty much. So I just didn't like how you took credit for that, because I feel like that was like your one up to win, and I feel like you didn't really come up with that. Like I literally came up with that whole plan.
No, I think that's completely fair. I think that the final tribal was laid out about as ideally as it could have been, with like all of the questions going to you and Gawan for the first like 6 jurors or whatever. And then the second to last question wasn't a question, it was just Flower talking about
Drag us.
me and how great of a game I played. Which yeah, it was just like a glaze, which was greatly appreciated. And then the last question was basically me getting to talk about everything, and neither of you guys got to get a word back in, and I had gotten to hear all of your arguments and see how the jury was reacting to it. So I knew kind of how to tailor my arguments, which was definitely a huge advantage. And yeah, I definitely was able to maybe overplay and make it seem like I had a larger role in you playing an idol on me than I actually did. So that's totally fair. I do also think that a part of my strategy, especially in this season, was I know that I'm like, I always felt like final tribal's my biggest strength. I feel like if I ever get to a final tribal, no matter what game I played, I feel like I have a shot at winning, just because I think I'm a pretty solid speaker. So I don't feel the need to play necessarily as aggressively as some other players do, because I feel like if I play an equal game to pretty much anyone else, I feel confident that I can win at final tribal. So I don't feel the need to play as aggressively as some other players. But no, I
Right,
think
and
you
I
bring up
and
a
I
very
and
fair
I
point.
received that. I received that 100%. But I think my point, and also I just want to say, suggestion. Let's do the questions first before the final speech, because I definitely would have clocked that. I just feel like at the end of the day, when Go On even gave like their speech and I gave my speech,
That shitty ass
we
speech I gave.
like, yeah, regardless if it was shitty or not, because listen, mine was shitty too. I was like, I think during our little 5-minute break, Tax, you was sitting there bullet pointing your whole speech. You was laying it out. You was
I
ready
have a
for it.
notebook.
I
I have a
literally was
notepad
using the
next to me the whole
bathroom,
game. I'm
smoking my
writing
vape,
notes like
listening
crazy.
to music.
Oh
Like I was just doing
Lord.
everything else but preparing for that speech. So I do feel like I butchered it. Go on, butchered it. But I do feel like at the end of the
I
day,
was so
we didn't
nervous.
lies. I feel like you told lies in your speech to get over. And I feel like at the end of the day, I've never seen anybody in Survivor TV or anything just tell lies to the jury of what they did, knowing they did not do that.
Rip
Because
Doherty,
you would get fucked.
Survivor Vanuatu, my
Mhm.
goat.
Art?
But that's just what that was. Like I just don't know. Like I don't know. You could say I'm salty about it. I am. I just do feel like it came down
And
to
that's
you
fair.
lying and just certain people being bitter. But I mean, it is what it is.
I
I mean, I came here and I actually
I
wanted to be a villain this season, so I feel like I did what I needed to do.
Oh, you did. You.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think I ever lied at Final Tribal. I definitely exaggerated things that I was a part of
No,
and
you lied.
tried to
I
down.
could
You
tell you what
lied.
you lied at.
Did I?
You did lie. You first of all, you downplayed Gowan's game. Gowan knew more of what was
Yeah.
going on than you did.
I
You
was in
literally
with
did not know
most of the
what was
jury.
going on, and you was on the wrong side of the votes most of the time. Literally, I was the one saving you over and over. I saved you over the Hatomi thing. You would have been going with that whole situation, which we'll most likely get into it later. So I'll save that. But I no shade, I saved your ass. Like that's just what that is. And no, I didn't have any
No, you
obligation to
did.
you to do it at that
That's not
point.
shit.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
did. We'll get into it. I just feel like at the end of the day, when you try to say that you came to me and you knew that I was going to accept you. You came as like a little puppy that needed saving. Like, no, that's not what happened. I just didn't care for you. I knew that you really did play a good game, better than the ones I was sitting next to. And two of the people that I was sitting next to as well, we played a similar game. We was in the alliance from the beginning. So yeah, I had to cut their throats so I could be there at the end and tell my story. Like, so it just didn't make any sense. I came up with that plan. Literally, you was on a hit list at first because you were so spoken highly of. And I will say that you were spoken so highly of, as a compliment, like they wanted you out. And I just didn't see that. Like, and it's not like saying like that, like, how do I say? I just feel like you didn't live up to that hype. And yeah, like pretty much I just had to dead it. Like I don't know. I just feel like it had to be said at some point because I just feel like this shit is weird. Like I just don't know how you could lie at a final speech like that and get away with it. But yeah.
But I do
That's
think
it. But my
though, like you opening my eyes to it, like there was multiple times where I was the one telling Tax what to do, and him just
I know,
okaying and yesing.
because like with the Juanes vote, he knew nothing of that. The only people that
Mhm.
knew anything about that was me, you, and Janae. And me and
Yep.
Janae discussed when we was gonna cut Juanes. So when I got into that with Juanes, first of all, which I don't even know why I'm being villainized about that from him because she called him like her little lapdog the whole season. So I mean, like I guess we're both villains.
I actually
But
did not call
it's
him
like,
that. I never once used that terminology, so
you
don't
did.
speak on
Oh,
my
you
name.
said you had him in his pocket. You had her. You had
I
Macy in
said
your
he does
pocket. So
things that I
that's your
say, but I didn't
lapdog.
call him a
That's your
lapdog. It sounds
lapdog.
disrespectful when you say shit like that.
I
But
said you
no, I didn't use
basically
that
called him
terminology.
Okay, I'm gonna chime in.
Security.
I'm gonna chime in.
No, don't.
No, we have talked about the finale enough. But thank you all for the thoughts and like for being here as well. And just like talking about the finale, going over this again. I don't know, it's very insightful as well to like get everyone's thoughts on the game. So thank you for that.
Wait, Lucas, can I?
Yeah. What
Since
do you
Janae's
want?
here, I do have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
So, and I'm not even gonna argue about it. I'm gonna just let you give your answer, and I'm gonna hope that you're gonna honestly be real and be honest because we spoke about it in the whole VC about it afterwards, and you know what I'm talking about. Are you gonna finally admit that you were being a bitter juror?
I was not being a bitter juror. You did not play a good game.
That's not what you said in the VC, but okay.
No, it is. It is what I said. I said that
No,
you did
it's
not play a
not. People
respectable
were
game,
there.
and you
Ben,
did not
do you
deserve to
remember?
win.
Ben, like I knew Ben was there.
Okay.
I mean, like from the season, Ben was there. Like Janae, I'm not gonna lie. You literally sat there and said I would have got your vote had I owned that move that I did with you and Flower. Or well, when I betrayed you and got out Flower, but it was supposed to be you. And I told you like, why would
Wait, what?
no?
Okay,
It was
well, I will.
me
I
and Book and
do.
Go on wasn't there.
I don't think I was there.
I am gonna
Go on, you
interject.
was not there. Don't let her involve you.
I
Anything.
just
You was
like
not
being
there. It was just a
so I have
random
no
VC
interest
in the
in you out there.
private server. I'm gonna just say this and I'm just get the word out and that's it. I'm done speaking. Like
Okay.
honestly, like Janae, like it happened Lord knows how many weeks ago. I just feel like if I was being a bitter juror, I would literally admit, like, you know what, I was being a bitter
don't give
juror. It is
a
what it
fuck. I'm a juror. I'm allowed to vote for who I want to vote for. You don't
Okay.
call me fucking bitter when I didn't
Can I
want to
just
vote
get
for
my thought
you.
out? Can I just get my thought out real quick? And then like you could just respond however you want to
I
respond.
think you've spoken quite enough the entirety you've been on this franchise.
Janae, but you're not saying anything factual. You're lying. You're just being on defense
Okay,
mode.
I'm not lying. I know exactly what the fuck I did. Don't
I'm
come
gonna
to me.
mute.
Can
I'm gonna
Ben
start muting
speak? Because
people.
Ben was there. Like, can somebody keep it real, Janae? You literally said I would have got your vote had I owned that move.
I was drunk as fuck.
Since I did not own
No,
that
you
move.
did not. I did not do that. You would not have ever gotten it.
You
All right,
did.
sorry. I did.
And then you
Artist, I'm
sat there
really
and said I
sorry, but
gassed
I am gonna mute just because
afterwards.
we are gonna move along.
Maybe it doesn't feel that good to be gaslit now, does it?
But nobody
Yeah,
gaslit
I
you.
will say though, it has been, it's been like 2 weeks since the game. I feel like, we could, I feel like we should move past this. But
This
like
will never be
I
resolved.
understand
You're
it does get heated.
Next topic.
This is what the fans
It's
want
time
to see.
it is maybe, but sometimes it goes too far.
Like I just don't care for it. I just wish
Yeah.
that we
So
could
sorry,
actually
but thank you
discuss it.
all for the insights. It means a lot. Anyways, let's move on to our final segment of the reunion. And I think this is, well, first of all, I want to say a few things, and then Trix and I will take turns revealing who we selected. So I just want to be very clear. Well, first of all, I'll say for the Hall of Fame, we're going to reveal the players who made the Hall of Fame, and there will be paragraphs posted in like the Hall of Fame channel on the server, most likely later tonight. or tomorrow morning, but regardless, they're all written up, and so we'll be able to post them.
Yeah, I'll post them
later
tonight.
on. Okay, so yeah, so we'll have them up tonight. So that's the first thing I want to say. Now, second thing I want to say is that first of all, there are so many people who could have qualified for the Hall of Fame because there were a lot of fantastic players from our 3 seasons. But really, we kind of narrowed it down to I guess we can reveal how many people we chose for this. We narrowed it down to the 5 people from our 3 seasons who we think deserved a spot on the Hall of Fame of our first cycle. And really the criteria for this, and I guess Trix can add more once I'm done if he thinks I miss anything. But really the criteria for this is not going to be necessarily placements within the game, although that does help a lot because the further you make it, the more time you have to like prove yourself or prove yourself as a player. But really the criteria for this is people who we believe as like the production crew, who we believe kind of played games that were innovative and games that were, I guess, the gold standard for how someone should play in a particular season. You may not agree with all of our picks. We understand that, but we personally think we narrowed it down to the 5 individuals who, across the 3 seasons, really played the most, I guess, stellar or like most. I don't really know what the word is for this, but the most impressive games beyond just
impactful.
Right, impactful. That's a good word. But yeah, if you have anything to add, Trix, like on this.
No, that is exactly it. I mean, just kind of the most impactful runs within this cycle. I mean, like you said, I mean, there are so many different people that could have ultimately made this list, and it was not an easy decision. But yeah, I think you touched on everything.
Okay, so in that case, Trix, I will give you the floor once I switch the slide for our first person on the Hall of Fame. So for our first individual on TBL's Hall of Fame, we have Flower.
Flower.
Right. Trix, you have the floor.
Yes, Flower, congratulations on being our first ever Hall of Famer. You definitely earned it. I mean, you set the standard for what a social game can do in these kinds of games. As soon as you hit the beach, you made sure to insulate yourself with all kinds of different relationships. Obviously, you had a relationship with Janae that would kind of go on throughout the season. I mean, I mentioned it earlier, a true testament to your social game is the fact that you didn't catch any votes the entire game until your elimination at Final 5, of which you were only idled out, like you were only voted out because of the idol. So super impressive there. And who knows how differently the season could have been if you had the chance to fight in that tiebreaker. Yeah, which on that note too, it was so funny. People were saying that Juanas hadn't caught a single vote the entire game, which is why he was getting targeted. And in fact, Flower was just sitting in that conversation, like, you're right. We we need to go with that. Sitting there knowing damn well that they didn't catch any votes either. And even at one point in the game, Hitomi did, amongst all of the information leaking, kind of pit Tax and Flower against each other. But they ended up getting into a one-on-one chat in the Coconut Conclave. And Flower took that opportunity to say, you know what, like everybody thinks that we're against each other. Let's use this time to at least like play into that if we have to. And ultimately, you and Taxivator were able to settle back into your respective positions after catching heat, and settle your differences. And again, that's on Social Game. So just absolutely amazing run there. There will be more details for everyone's games in the full paragraphs once they're posted tonight.
And that being said, we should, if Flower, if you want to say any like words we can invite you to speak, just like very briefly.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, this is like your moment.
Oh my gosh, what's up?
TB.
I vote to evict Kelly. Sorry, I fucked up. I meant to give my acceptance speech. First of all, thank you so
Gag.
much, you guys. I didn't expect this. I genuinely did not expect this. Figured, oh, you know, it'll just be the winners and we move on to cycle 2. But I appreciate the recognition so much. I hope that, you know, future social players can apply for the next few cycles and know that, you know, being social doesn't necessarily have to be about being the most liked. It doesn't necessarily have to be about this and that. Being social comes in many different forms, and hopefully the way I did it can inspire a few people to, you know, play a little outgoing, but have cards close to, I don't know. Go on. Haha, I got it, you didn't. I'm kidding. All right, thank you. I'm gonna get off the stage now.
Bye. Bye. Thank you so much, Flower.
All right. Shall we move on to our next person then, I guess?
Well, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you, Flower. Actually, before we move on, I just want to point out these are in no particular order. So the Hall of Fame doesn't have like an ordering to it. So everyone is kind of just treated as like equally. There's not really like an ordering or like a ranking here. So it's just the 5 players who we feel stood out the most from Cycle 1, albeit this was a very difficult to choose because there were a lot of people who stood out. Now, that being said, for our second Hall of Famer, we have Miss Faye. So I think this one really needs to be talked about because Faye, your game in the Traitors was probably one of the most impressive Traitors games I've seen. Now, I know it's like really easy when we're like talking during the reunions to like get or like to like downplay other people's games or whatever, but I mean, honestly, watching your game and the way you played as a Traitor was impeccable. You know, and honestly, I will say every single player, every single Traitor this game played really well. Like Sin and Chris both played amazing, but what really made you stick out as like the best Traitor this season was the fact that Sin and Chris never really got accused that much until they were ultimately eliminated towards the end of the game. But you constantly had heat on you throughout the game. You were constantly being accused, and your ability to just kind of shift the attention off yourself like was so expertly done. It was, from my opinion, I mean, the 3 of us were in a call, like Trix, myself, and Brayden, just watching this, and every single round you survived, we were gagged. And the fact that you made it all the way to the final 4, despite being accused so much, was just incredible because, and honestly, the way you were able to do it was just the fact that whenever you were asked a question or like someone was accusing you, it wasn't what you answered that convinced everyone that you were a faithful. It was how you answered it. It was your demeanor. You seemed so much like a faithful that Vince did not want to let you go at the end of the game. Corinne and Vince had literally a 10-minute argument in that final 4 where Vince was fighting for you because he was convinced that you were faithful because of how well you were able to like portray yourself as this faithful. And ultimately, your demise in this game is really just Corinne, who is kind of like we said, the Sherlock Holmes of the season. But like I said, just that ability to basically play the role of a faithful so expertly while also being a traitor behind the scenes was, I mean, something that like we were all just gagged by, like especially the 3 of us, but I'm sure everyone else watching. Yeah, that's really it. Like all that I have to say. Faye, if you want to say anything else, like I mean, like this is your moment, and you
Oh my
can unmute.
god,
You've been
this
invited.
was like
Yeah.
kind of my Rachel moment. I made a few mistakes, but I think overall I'm happy with how I played. I want to thank Mother Cora for not realizing it was me until like 3 hours in and then immediately getting rid of her. But I don't know. I just want to be fair, my other 2 traders were so good as well. So I probably couldn't have gotten that far without them at all. But thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
We're
I don't know
so
what else
glad.
to say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You earned it, of course.
Yeah.
And I
Like
don't remember
honestly,
what
just
happened because
very
it was like
impressive
5
overall.
a.m., but
No,
it's
yeah,
just
it was.
trying.
It's been a while since Traitors, yeah, but overall, just like really impressive. Like to me, I mean, honestly, like every single traitor this season played beautifully. And for the faithfuls, well, you know, it took them a while to get their footing, but they eventually got their footing. But yeah, the
Like
traders just
4
played
hours.
phenomenally this season, and I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys just played phenomenally, but especially you stood out as being like the one of the group who received the most heat, and yet you somehow made it the furthest, even though it looked like you were going to be the first of the traders gone. You basically got to the end, clawed your way to the end against all odds, and then obviously that final 4 round is what ended up being your demise there. But anyways, thank you so much for speaking. Thank you so much for playing in TBL Traitors Season 1. And we are going to move on to the third individual in our Hall of Fame, which is going to be Miss Gianna.
Yes. All right. So Janae described herself in her application as an enigma. And girl, I could not describe her in a better way, and I mean that in the best way possible. Janae is somebody who played like with her full deck of cards just out. From public votes, obviously the iconic Janae codes. Whose guardian angel are we talking about here? Like to the Ben vote. Just all sorts of like individual iconic moments. And I mean, I could go on about just how enjoyable Janae was to watch as a spectator and from the producer standpoint. But tonight, I mean, I do really want to highlight Janae's game outside of just being like a really good character. Janae displayed an absolute dominant run as far as working these votes. She was able to enter conversations and literally say, I want this person gone, and then they would catch votes. But Janae's approach was always so like welcoming, or just like very inviting. And yes, at times she, you know, of course we're gonna let her have the floor. We can all get extra, we can all get loud, but at the end of the day, like Janae just had like such an amazing energy that would rope people in, to where she would make these public votes and really push about any vote that she wanted and would get her way without really catching too much heat along the process. And then that's not to mention, of course, the real idol, fake idol bluff situation that she had going on. She pulled a little bit of a Rizzo. A little bit of a Rizzo with keeping implicit immunity by bluffing her fake idol. Of course, once she publicly flushed that, everybody then knew that it was fake. The gag is she had a real idol the entire time in her back pocket, ready to go in case if she or an ally needed it. And later on down the road, she would end up using that idol on artist. And there is a whole aftermath that happens there, of course. But yeah, just overall, amazing use of the advantages at play there. Janae, thank you so much for playing and just being like an absolute light for our first cycle. And let's get you on stage, sister.
Oh my god, y'all are so sweet to me. Oh my god, I wanted to cry like that whole time. That's so sweet. Thank
Oh.
you. I really appreciate that. Sorry.
No, you earned, girl, you earned this. Like seriously.
I just like I get told a lot of the time that my personality is too intense for people, so like getting called warm and welcoming really like warmed my heart tonight.
Oh.
So, like really meant a lot to me. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been trying lately. Like I'm 22 now. Like when I was like younger, I would be really loud and obnoxious and like never let anyone speak. And I just been trying to like wean off of that and be more of like a friendly person. But I still have that little bit of me that comes out at times. So
But it's great.
I really appreciate that.
No, look, it's all about balance, and like in these games, like you're gonna have those moments, you know. But it's like, how do you make the most out of that? You know.
I'm shocked I did so well. I thought I was gonna go home first.
No,
like,
girl, you.
my
No, you
favorite
ate.
thing that I like to remember is that like in my application, y'all asked me like if I would adapt my gameplay to play a Hall of Fame game, and I said I already play a Hall of Fame game, and I'm happy I was able to vouch for that.
And in fact did.
Thank you so much for having me. This meant a lot.
Of course, Janae, thank you so much for playing. With that, I think we are going to move on to the next one, unless if Lucas, if you have anything you want to add here.
No, I mean, you said it all. Like, I couldn't have put it better. But yeah, honestly, to me, this was one of, I mean, Janae's game, both as like a player and as a person, was definitely one of the favorite, like my favorites that I've ever seen. And I've been doing like a lot of, I've done a lot of events, hosted. Just got into hosting with y'all, but definitely like one of the most impressive and just like fun overall games that I've seen. So yeah, really loved it. All right. What are we posting in the chat? Please do not post that. Anyways, so we are moving on to our
Strike
final,
incoming.
or well, not final. Yeah, yeah. Don't post stuff like that. Thank you. Anyways, so we're now moving on to the fourth individual in our Hall of Fame, and really, this individual had to receive a spot in the Hall of Fame, and we'll get into that a little bit. But our fourth Hall of Famer is going to be the Queen herself, Corinne. So I just want to start off by saying, well, first of all, Corinne was, of course, the winner of our first ever Trader season. But one thing I want to say with Traitors is that sometimes as a faithful, the game can seem really, really simple. I mean, all you're doing is trying to find the traitors, but I think Corinne is one of those faithfuls that saw the game more than just trying to get the traitors out. Corinne was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. The entire game, she made sure that she was not going to be killed, although there was a round where the traitors were going to try to kill Corinne, had she not won the competition. But for most of the game, a lot of Corinne's strategy was making sure that she would play the part of a dumb faithful by intentionally accusing people that she knew were faithfuls and saying that they were traitors, so that the actual traitors, Sin, Chris, and Faye, wouldn't kill her because they would think that she was a bad faithful that they could keep around and that she was on their side. So really the entire game, rather than playing it as, as a simple game where she would or the faithful would just go after the traitors, Corinne saw it as much more than that and definitely played a game of chess, like added an extra layer to the game. And it was so brilliant because she was also really good at clocking the actual traitors. Her one weak point, of course, being Chris. But she was able to clock that Faye was a traitor, was a gut instinct, and kind of clocked that Sin was a traitor. Well, definitely clocked that Sin was a traitor, even though the reasoning was definitely something special. But the point is, definitely the Sherlock Holmes of our traitor season, the faithful who was able to clock the traitors and also play a masterful game to get to the final roundtable without being killed, because during those middle portions of the game where she was susceptible to being killed, she was able to shift the attention off herself by, intentionally getting things wrong. I mean, really, that's all I have to say. And then, of course, that final 4 round where Corinne stands on ground stands on her ground or stood on her ground and basically forces Vince's hand into voting out Faye and ultimately getting Faye out of the game, who would have won had she not gone home at that final 4. Basically forcing Vince's hand into voting Faye and then betraying him at the final 3 to win the game with Haley, which obviously was one of the best moments of the season. So thank you so much, Corinne, for playing. You definitely deserved your win. Trix, if you can invite Corinne on stage to get any words from her, any thoughts. All right, Corinne, you are on stage.
Yay! I don't really know what to say. I feel like but I'm really happy to get this. I wasn't really expecting it because I already won. But I'm glad I got it and Vince didn't. So that's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, anyways, thank you so much. Honestly, one of the most impressive faithful games that I've ever seen. I'm sure the rest of the hosts would agree. And so, yeah, definitely a deserved spot on the Hall of Fame. All right, Trix, we'll move on to the final individual on the Hall of Fame.
Okay. Last but not
All right,
least,
so All right. Now, I know this might shock some of you based off the conversation we just had, but there's good reason for it, I promise. Our final Hall of Famer for Cycle 1 is Tax Evader.
Tax Evader, and obviously he is not here, so we will keep it brief. But Tax Evader, you know, in his Hall of Fame description, I describe him kind of as like a Rachel Lamont type player. This is somebody who was extremely strategic and scrappy throughout their game, despite not necessarily being in the best position throughout the entire game. That mid portion of the game was a little bit rough for Tax. However, I think he really embodies being able to make the most out of what you have. And even some things that were talked about tonight, as far as, you know, once you make it to the final tribal council from being in that bottom position, like, you kind of have to optimize your game and your pitch the best way that you can. And that is still within the bounds of the game. You know what I mean? But ultimately, I mean, a lot of the stuff with Tax we have kind of touched on before. But I mean, even as early as Love's elimination, getting voted out with a plurality, that was kind of, I feel like that kind of set the cloud over Tax's game. But really, where his game came to shine was right during that halfway point, where him and Gowan were kind of down in numbers. Their back was against the wall. And yet he was able to literally evade every obstacle that came his way by intentionally lowering his threat level and making relationships where it mattered. Obviously, he did end up making that bond with Artist that would end up being, you know, arguably the most important, I mean, I guess besides his core duo with Gowan, kind of side alliance throughout the game, saving him in that moment. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he just really embodies out of like all of the tenets of Survivor. I mean, this is a game where you are supposed to outwit, outplay, and outlast. A lot of people think that they are a mix of the three. However, a lot of the times people do kind of fall into one bucket. And Tax definitely outlasted. And again, just kind of made the most out of being in his bottom position throughout the entire game. And I think even a testament to that is the fact that in the final tribal council, Flower actually did pitch a case for Tax Evader as well. So I definitely think that deserves to be commended. Lucas, do you have anything else to add here?
Well, yeah, since Tax is not here, I guess I just want to add, well, first of all, Tax played, in my opinion, an amazing game. I know that he was receiving a lot of heat during the reunion, but, and obviously all criticism is valid criticism, but I do think that this was genuinely one of the most impressive games I've seen Tax play. And, you know, he said that of the 4 types of this events that he's done in the past, he thinks this was his worst, and I actually completely disagree. I think this was his best. But, you know, that's up to him to decide, because he's the one who obviously played. He's the one who knows himself best. But I thought it was really impressive. And I also just want to add, y'all, you do not know how difficult it was to choose 5 individuals for this, because there are, if we could make like an honorable mentions list, there would be a bunch of people on that honorable mentions list. Like, trust me, most of you that like, most people that like you thought could have potentially been on the Hall of Fame definitely we thought about and we put a lot of thought into. Yes, the 2 people who pinged me were obviously in consideration. There were a lot of people in consideration, but yeah, it was a difficult, but ultimately really want this to be like a prestigious title. And yeah, so that's why we shortened it to 5 people, but there were a lot of individuals who qualified.
Yeah, and
I think Trix can agree.
No, no, definitely. And on that, like, I mean, you know, the Hall of Fame placements are like, we try not to make them cumulative for the entire cycle and really base it off of one person's performance kind of in a particular season. So if you didn't make Hall of Fame this time, definitely bring that same energy for the next cycle. and for future seasons that you apply on, because yeah, we just definitely bring that same energy.
Okay, so actually, yes, there is a few things now that like we have basically reached the end of our cycle reunion that I do want to address. So first of all, for anyone who came in later and who didn't hear the announcement at the beginning, I will be uploading will be unlisting the raw footage for Survivor Season 1. So unfortunately, I am like quite busy outside of like this, so it does take a long time to edit an actual like season, even if it's just like a small edit. So I will be unlisting the raw footage. So if you want to watch the game in its entirety without any edits, you can. It is a little bit hard. You'll see it is a little bit hard to get used to because of the Discord format. So recording Discord and Outlaster at the same time, it's like hard to like manage between the two. But everything should be there. Everything that I caught in or on camera, or like all the audio that I caught should be there. Even if it does take a little while to get used to. But point is, the raw footage will be there if you want to watch it, and the edited stuff will come out when it comes out. I'm not going to set like a specific date for that because I genuinely have no clue like how long that'll take.
Oh, and
but yeah, so it'll be out there. Yeah, go ahead, Trix. Go ahead. Trix.
if y'all need some gaggy timestamps, I got you, girl, for that raw footage. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, yeah. I will also hopefully be clipping it now that it's out. Yeah, but yes. So thank you for that. So the raw footage will be out either tonight or tomorrow morning, and you can find it on the TBL YouTube channel. But I'll also probably post it in media if you want to find it there. So that is